like it. Hey! Hello!
Oh, hi.
Hello.
Ladies,
us.
gentlemen,
Hey.
it's us. Welcome to Legends of Avantris, episode 40-something.
Can you believe it's been 40
Can you
episodes?
believe it's been
over
40-something
40
episodes? We've been streaming for over a year. What are the chances? Welcome back. We are 7 nerds. We're Legends of Avantris. We are 7 nerds that embarrass ourselves for your entertainment, hopefully joy. Welcome to our Prime campaign. This is the one that started it all, really. It's the campaign for 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons that we all started playing over 3 years ago. Almost 3 years ago. Wait, we're like very close to our 3-year anniversary.
Yeah,
I was gonna say,
We're very close.
like
next
next
week.
What was the day?
13th.
Are we gonna
13th.
December 13th.
Striga's the day after
Ooh.
the
Striga's
year
literally-
anniversary.
So join us.
Oh,
Yeah.
but Prime is Thursday.
Ooh,
Oh,
it's
Thursday.
fate.
Prime
Literally,
is on our
literally.
3-year
So
anniversary.
join in for our anniversary stream on next Thursday.
Yeah.
So we've been playing together, playing 5th edition D&D for almost 3 years at this point now. This exact same campaign. A lot of stuff has happened. You can see most of our videos. We have an arc before that. I'm working on a recap, arc recap video. There's a lot that happened, so it's kind of hard to boil that down into a single video and script. But I'm working on it. I think, what are some housekeeping business? Mature stream, hide your wife, hide your kids. We are going to... Oh, Andy's at the table, by the way.
Holy shit!
Holy
look at
shit!
him.
It's me! Avantris has teleported from the lower screen to the top screen. How the fuck did that happen?
In the flesh.
In the flesh.
Wow.
No, it's actually a hologram.
It's a hologram.
Could you imagine? We're living in the
We
future.
are sponsored by Kanye West, and this is the official
Or Ronnie James
Yeet
Dio.
hologram.
Ronnie James Dio hologram was very good as well. I prefer that over Kanye. No offense, Kanye. Sure. Maybe I do mean offense.
And Misaki, I think that rogues can't arcane tricksters teleport? Pretty
No.
sure, no?
Arcane Tutors can mage hand and then jerk themselves off.
Got him!
Got it. Just kidding, mature stream. Fun fact, it is Andy's first time at the table as Vandris since before we started streaming, since we killed the final boss, or not the final boss, the penultimate boss, the primary villain, what felt like the final boss of the first arc of the campaign. So we welcome Vandris back to the table. Next week, we have a little bit of a different schedule. Feywild is usual on Tuesdays, as we've switched from Mondays onto Tuesdays. Thank you everyone who came in last night. We had a blast. Prime, however, will be on Thursday next week. So rather than Wednesday, it'll be on Thursday. And the next day, I'm DMing back-to-back 2 nights in a row because I hate myself. I literally hate myself for Beneath Dark Wings. December's obviously a crazy month. The holidays are crazy. So the only day that all 7 of us could do was Friday the 14th. 13th? 14th?
The 14th, I believe.
14th.
And so that'll be a Friday night. We'll go late. So
That's a lot of D&D.
That's a lot of D&D. I really enjoy it. I like tabletop games that are really nice. What else we got? I think that's it.
I opened my shop.
Oh,
Yay!
yes. This stream is sponsored. We joke about sponsors. We are literally sponsored by Summercore Creations. Nikki is a wonderful crafts person. She opened up her shop finally, and we are ready to sell a lot of shit. I ordered a dice bag as a gift, and it was amazing. It got done in like a week. Or not a week, a day.
What are you
Not a
talking
week,
about?
sorry. Not a week. It was done in like 10 hours. It was great. It was amazing. It's a beautiful quality, awesome stuff. It is amazing stuff, great quality stuff. The link should be in the chat.
Yeah, thank you.
And so, really great stuff from Nikki. I'm going to say a few words about it.
Yeah, so Summer Court Creations is my shop. It is tabletop gaming themed with a few cosplay items here there. I've got my base listings up. There are more listings to come, but yeah, just D&D fun stuff. I make it all here by myself, directly behind Mike. You can actually pan the camera if you want.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. If you want to pan the camera, I have a little tiny nook.
magic happened. Oh, well, that's all.
There it is. That's where I work. And I make everything by hand. It's all me.
It's all
and yeah, that's
amazing quality
basically all I can
stuff.
think of.
I'm very happy with my purchase. I recommend people do the same. The link is in the chat. Thank you guys so much for your support for that. And so...
Retro, real quick. You shouldn't be watching this. You should be studying Root.
Yeah, you should be sweating.
Get Shrek.
Damn, that's rough,
Keep
buddy.
your butthole tight.
You know how you ever see the episode of Beavis and Butthead where like the tombstone says he never scored? When Austin has his vision of death, his tombstone will say he never won a game of Rude.
Got him!
Got him. You know the funny thing is that the Woodland Alliance in Rude is like the best faction, allegedly according to the designer who
No
hung out
way.
with the Pax and Plug. Yeah, far and away the best faction. They think. Hey! Rosando!
Sorry that you got in trouble during your raid.
Yeah, sorry.
We appreciate it though.
I love that.
Why don't you shill our stuff to our guildies so they stop doing whatever RBGs? Who cares about RBGs? Come on, man. D&D is where it's at. And I know that you know we appreciate you, the love and support. Okay. I've really wasted enough time installing. We're gonna introduce our players. We have Richie playing Rodic Stonehearth, the dwarf fighter. Now hold on. We have Vandris True Strike played by Andy, literally never scared. We have Sylvie played by Nikki.
Creator of Poop Dolls.
Creator of Poop Dolls. I break the fourth wall. And we
Disclaimer:
have,
this isn't that kind of stream.
oh yeah, Poop. Well, how's she gonna pay us?
Not yet.
How's she gonna pay us? Just kidding. And then finally we have Annulin. No Morlock. We have Annulin Mosgrove, a Wood Elf Ranger played by Kelsey.
AKA Clump.
Clump is like, oh, I'm awkward. I distilled every character to a bit. And this is what I do. I am Mikey. I'm an ironing board DM. I am DMing literally from an ironing board as we speak. It's how I like to do it. I don't like to DM on any other surface.
He stands the whole time.
I stand the
Everybody's
entire
always
time.
shocked. He
He's
stands.
strong like bear.
I literally cannot sit while I DM. I have to pace around and do this. And so,
I should have seen his
last.
legs. I wish you could. We gotta have like a Mikey leg cam. With
No,
one
please
section.
No, because just in case he doesn't wear pants.
How about this? At 700 followers, we'll have one session where we have a Mikey leg cam.
Pants not
God, I
required.
hope
There you go.
So we're done stalling. Last time on Legends of Avantris, back in serious mode, Dungeon Master mode. I'm just trying to think of you had just finished your battle with Tyche Heartseeker, the former ally of Avantris, turned vampire. She had been defeated quite handily, quite easily, honestly. It was a
really
tough
easily.
fight, but pretty darn easily.
Yeah, heck yeah.
For how powerful you all are. And you were going to keep her alive and try to question her, but then trapdoors fell open. She got fried by a strange, demonic, devilish, fiendish creature. Very thick, attractive, demonic, or fiendish female. It seemed to have triggered a trap door to let the sun shine in, fry her. You kind of poked around for clues. You got a few items. The most interesting thing, you found a few stolen poker chips from the Hungry Catfish that she never managed to cash in. I hope you all wrote down how much gold that was worth because I don't remember. You got a few
It was
magic
like
items.
5 gold.
You found gloves of missile snare and oil of slipperiness, I believe. And then, most interestingly, you found a number of cards. Large, palm-sized cards, elaborate designs. Different illustrations and intonations on them of some things like the beast and the like. The tempter. And written in this fine silver ink with swooping cursive handwriting were a number of strange words like purpose, experience, and destiny. And on the back, all the same signature, Madame Zostrom, name that was familiar to Sylvie, a woman who was part of a traveling fair, if you will, a large fair that traveled around the swamp towns in the Whippoorwallow Swamp where she grew up, who had given her a reading nearly almost 7 years prior. And she knew of this person that did readings, that these were, she knew quite well, that these were Taroka cards. Each card drawn, at least according to this person, Madame Zostra, had a certain placement. Experience for your past, effectively. You were laughing. Experience for your past. What's the other one? We designed this whole thing.
The five categories.
The 5 categories.
Purpose,
which
experience,
is
destiny.
your current, your present, your current goal. The unknown, which are the influences that are hidden in the shadows.
Destiny.
The guidance,
Guidance.
which is the guidance, the recommendations provided by the cards. Finally, destiny, your future. And Taiki had these with these strange signatures from Madame Zostra on her person. They thought that was interesting. They went to go visit this Madame Zostra, found out where she was, and realized that she had been closed for the day, but would be open the following evening. They decided to kill some time by, or rather than before that, or I guess then they decided to take Taiki's body to Remy Guru, the gentleman who runs the Hung and Catfish, the large Virgo casino at the center of town, as well as seemingly running the town de facto himself. He was fairly disrespectful of Taiki's corpse, leading to a very tense conversation between Avantris and Sylvie and him. And they left with Taiki's body. He seemed to be fine with them disposing the body with the body how they wish. And the party kind of reconvened. They decided that they would investigate the barn where they had fight Taiki, the cellar where they had battled Taiki the night prior, and then visit Madame Zostra. They decided to investigate. They poked around. They found the remnants of these stable boys that had allegedly been under the influence of some sort of mind control. And they also found kind of strange hoof prints in the dirt that seemed to have a strange triangulation towards the barrel that they had found. Mina, the assistant of Alphonse the Blanc, or the shopkeeper that sells Alphonse's wares at the very least, made them raise more questions honestly than it answered. Then went to enjoy 52 soups from all over the world in true blue.
52 on the dot.
52 on the dot in bread bowls, all of them, before visiting Madame Zostra in a tent. And this is where Madame Zostra remembered Sylvie very well. She remembers every reading allegedly that she does. She remembered 7 years ago doing her reading and her being the child of the stars, the child of the seven paths, the child of her grandmother's love. She offered each of them a reading for a single silver piece per. And then that would be enough magic to charge her crystal ball and give a vision. And you should probably just watch the last VOD because it's some intense shit. I'm not going to repeat all of it.
Yeah, it was awesome.
It's
worth watching for sure.
They all got a specific card reading, and then they got a group crystal ball reading, and it was some nasty ass business. It was crazy Bojangles, and it ended with a vision. Some nasty ass business.
Bojangles.
It ended with a
I
vision
love that restaurant.
of blood, Sylvie's blood, Sylvie's sister in peril, and a life hanging in the balance at that moment. And she encouraged, or she told them that Sylvie's sister seemed to be in danger, and she was surely doomed if they did nothing about it. So they paid to keep on to the cards, and they left Madame Zostra's tent. You are now, all of you, in the alley outside, in between that tailor shop and the True Blue Roux. Each of you with your 5 cards in hand, signed with the placement of each of those cards on your person. The night has set. You'd gotten there a little bit after sunset. All of the wisps of sunset, the oranges and golds have disappeared. The stars have come out an Ogway. And you are standing in front of Madame Zostra's tent, knowing of, at the very least, this prophecy from the crystal ball of doom. What are you guys doing? I think I'll do some Magnolia Promenade music.
Well, I suppose we spoke briefly about what you wanted to do, Sylvie, and again, I mentioned before, and I'll state it again, I don't want to pressure you into doing anything that you don't want to do, but do we even know where we need to go?
Well, like I said, I'm pretty sure that, based on what she said, that hullabaloo that we saw at the Desert Rose, had something to do with her. So my guess is that they captured her, they took her into a whorehouse, because why not? And they locked her in some kind of cage, probably with a bunch of naked, delicious women.
Well, I don't think we have time. I think we'll do it right now.
Yeah, no, I agree. If only for the naked, delicious women.
All right. And then I just immediately start booking it.
So I run with Rodek, and I'm assuming you're.
I'm slower
with us.
than everybody.
Yeah,
So
I'm gonna run.
I'm slower than you by like 5 feet per second.
Fly alongside us on the broom.
Great idea.
I'm as slow as you are, Sylvie.
As we're all running towards the desert rose. Oh, you're with us, right, Annulin? Keeping up?
Yeah, I'm gonna shake my head and follow behind at a light trot since I'm so much faster.
Oh, jeez.
Fucking what else?
As we're all running together, I turn to Rodek and I say, "So, this reminded me. Rodek, have you actually ever met any other like dwarfs that are psychics?"
No, I mean, I've
Wait,
never
she
seen
was a
anything like
dwarf?
this.
No, but there was back in Gullhaven, there was a dwarf who was a psychic.
Who?
It was pretty wild. He actually
Forgus?
No, not Forgus. God, that would be a nightmare. But this guy, he actually went crazy and he robbed a bank and he got away with it. And
Forgus?
No, the dwarf psychic. And to this day, he's still a small, medium at large.
Forgus? Wait, that's a joke. Oh my god, that's hilarious.
As I'm
I've
flying
never heard
down
of that. I Rodek didn't laugh at all. Do you think he knows something about this?
Never mind, I'll ask you about it later. Let's keep going.
So we sprint just towards the. I think once we get close to the Sunsteel ward, we want to slow down a little bit and like try to be cautious, but like.
Okay, so you all make your way. You are sprinting through the streets. You have well-dressed individuals heading to the various jazz club, house of pleasure, gambling hall. Some people making their way to the Hungry Catfish, where the two of you had recently left. And people are like kind of, oh my, as you're just sprinting. Like, oh, what's the rush there, fella? Ah! As you are all just, as you're all sprinting, the dog just attacks you and mauls you to death. Campaign over.
And Cerberus over there. Cerberus.
Cerberus
Dog's
attacks.
maw, everyone dies.
So you're all running. You're making your way, and you arrive kind of a few towards the barrier of the Magnolia Promenade to the Sunsteel Ward, and you all kind of take it easy. I need a stealth check from everyone. As I switch music.
Natural 20 pickle Rick!
23.
I got an unnatural 30.
Natural.
I got an 8.
Go fuck yourself.
Annulin, what's your stealth roll?
Okay, sorry. He was just like barking at the wall.
It's probably a demon.
Haunted.
Have fun sleeping tonight.
Great. Now I'm all thrown off. I rolled a 1. Terrible.
Looks like
We
someone's
got
a
a
little bit more
natural-
stealthy than the other people.
We got a natural 20 and a natural 1.
How much?
10.
I got a 10.
10. So you all start to go a little bit slower. You slow your roll, so to speak. As you all creep along. You're all
another
making
natural
your way, ducking through the tall kind of clay and brick buildings of the Sunsteel Ward, whose architecture is so different than the rest of the city. The awnings and canopies and tents, the open air markets, that despite it's the late hour, seem to be relatively bustling. People kind of getting a late night snack, getting some dinner, enjoying some pleasurable company before they go to sleep and begin their workday anew. You make your way and you start to notice those same Aarakocra standing on the building seems to be doubled. The watch seems to be quite increased. The falcon-headed avian humanoids seems to be looking out intently as you're making your way, trying to blend in with the crowds at this point, weeding through the narrow streets, the markets, the bazaars, passing through winding alleyways, widened streets, You eventually make your way to the grand street where you had followed Mina to Taiki not a day before. 2 days before, whatever it was. And you realize you are not far from the Desert Rose, where you believe that Evangeline is being held. What are you guys doing?
So with our stealth checks, or I guess with my stealth check, I should say, can I'd like to roll, I guess, perception or something, or investigation to kind of like scout out the area and see what we're walking into beyond what you've told us.
Mikey's a little quiet.
I'm quiet?
Yeah.
Great.
That's what Derek just said.
Thank you,
Keep
Derek.
going.
I will keep going. So why don't you do a quick perception check?
23.
23. So as you're making your way closer and closer to where you know the Desert Rose is.
I'm listening.
Let's turn a little bit.
It was just off kilter.
Did you want to make sure that it's
Check.
on
1,
the
2,
right?
1, 2.
It is.
Check.
Keep going,
1,
keep
2,
going.
1, 2. Derek, let us know if we're too quiet. If I'm too quiet.
You are kind of quiet.
You're quiet. I'll move myself closer.
It's a good idea.
If you can
So-
physically at all.
So I will. I'm
Wow,
here.
you're
wow.
really
Here's
I
what
can
you
see
do.
your
Hold on,
nose.
We're adjusting. You get to see how unexfoliated my skin is.
It was like a fisheye lens without the fisheye. It was pretty
You want to see
awesome.
my nose hair? Huh?
Okay, adjust that now.
Oh god,
I think it should be good. Honestly.
The camera's in our other camera.
Ooh. Oh my. There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
That's good.
Ladies and gentlemen.
You're a beautiful man.
I mean that's what the Tinder dates call me. Just kidding. And
Gross.
so gross. And so here we are. You look around. You scan the tops of the buildings. The large rectangular square buildings of clay and brick that are predominantly comprise the Sunsteel Ward. And you see that these Aarakocra, you see the occasional vulture-headed Aarakocra and predominantly falcon-headed Aarakocra kind of keeping watch. You would seem like one per every building corner. It seems to be 2, 3. Watch is very heavily increased. You're passing through more and more heavily armored dragonborn, heavily armed dragonborn, rough-looking humans, and giant hyenas, some muzzled, many not, kind of guiding through the alleyways, having their enormous beasts sniffing out the roads. Presence of the caravan seems to be incredibly increased the closer you approach. And as you approach, you're about probably 2 blocks away from where you know the Desert Rose to be. You see ahead of you the main drag and that street off where you had initially seen the Desert Rose. You see the large 2 towers of this structure kind of rising up with their bulbed tops of these towers, kind of rising above the skyline of the city that you can see past some sentries. What are you doing?
Jeez, I don't know. I'm just trying to get like a good idea here. So Sorry.
I was just gonna say, can I do I get a sense that any of the guards are particularly looking at us, or do I hear anyone talking about anything?
Perception check, anyone? Let me know if the music is too loud too. Yeah, the music is loud.
Perception is 26.
Whew! You get the sense.
Who doggy?
You get the sense that these Aarakocra sentries are scanning the streets. You've done a good enough job with your group roles to blend in. And they don't seem to be tracking you as you make your way through, but they seem to be on very high alert. You actually kind of look up, and we'll give you this with that roll, to the night sky, and those same 2 familiar bulbed towers of the Desert Rose rising up above the Sunsteel Ward, you see the flapping wings of Aarakocra as they kind of circle around.
Does it look like there's any kind of alleyway behind the buildings?
You are about 2 blocks away that way. You have not passed that way yet. You can attempt to go.
As we approach it,
I can make all 4 of us invisible.
We do still have several uses of the Alphonse potion.
all right.
We're one shy, but
Well, at least for now, I think if you could just make all of us invisible without using potion.
Well, yeah, that's what I do with magic, Rodak.
Right. That.
I could
Right.
make you a potion. I don't think it would do anything. It
No,
probably
no.
tastes like piss.
I just
Or
need
But I could
that
do
we
it.
use.
spell. No. Just casting the spell. It's fine. It's fine.
Okay,
All right.
sure.
I will just. I guess we're close enough. We might as well do it.
So I cast as a.
I don't know that they're really looking at us. I mean, they're definitely on high alert, but I mean,
we don't have time to wait though. We need to get in there.
Well, here's the thing. They may
how do we
not.
know we can't get in there?
Well, so if they may not be looking for us now, but I feel like us being seen right around now, and if mysteriously the Will-O-Wisp gets sprung from prison, it
Won't be good.
they would connect us. So I think
And we know they won't let us in because we went by there right after they captured her, and the guy was really rude, and he said we couldn't go in. So I'm not a master of deduction, but I think that means they won't let us in.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Oh,
I guess
that's
I'm just
okay.
worried. I mean, we're not invisible now, so if we go invisible and then the Will-O-Wisp does show up, then that looks like a lot worse.
ooh, that's a fair point. Does it look like we've been noticed at all? Like
I would say with Annulin's stealth check, it is not. You guys have been keeping a low profile, blending in with the crowds.
With our
It's
hoods
not
up or
that
whatever.
late, honestly. People are kind of filtering out from the shopping and the enjoyment seeking of the day. You do notice that in the Sunsteel Ward, there seems to be a predominantly higher number of brothels than most of the other districts that you've been in. You've been in all the districts, definitely more than in all the other districts, including the Magnolia Promenade.
I'm sure we could find some sort of alleyway where Sylvie could enchant us.
So, let's step off to the side somewhere, and just to be safe, and we don't have to necessarily do anything unless it's an emergency.
Yeah, what's interesting about stepping off to the side, I heard this really cool song in a club once, and it went to the left, to the left, to the right, now dip, now dip, now dip, now dip. And it was really interesting because everyone was doing these movements together at the same time.
That sounds like a terrible song.
Yeah, it was, but everybody was doing the movements at the same time together, which was really cool.
It's fascinating.
It's
Well,
what made me want to be a
Let's
bard.
go to the right and duck in. I look for somewhere to duck in, just so we can kind of like get out of the way and like it's nice and shadowy, and then we'll hopefully Sylvie will
Okay.
cast it on us.
So you're all going to duck away. We'll keep those stealth rolls, and you're going to cast invisibility.
Yeah, I'm gonna 5th level because Warlock, and it'll do all 4 of us.
Boom.
Okay, so you cast, you dip into an alleyway, kind of when the hustle, bustle of people, you disappear. And all of a sudden, then you literally disappear as Sylvie casts invisibility. You can no longer see each other, and you are all invisible.
I say to the group, remember, if we get separated or we get in any kind of trouble, use your walkie-talkie. We need to keep some distance from each other and not bump into each other and other people. So just, if we get into danger, remember we have the walkie-talkies.
Yeah, so I don't because Annulin has given a lot of our walkie-talkies away. So I'm going to keep Lumi with Rodak so that she can relay messages to me.
Good idea.
I only gave away one, didn't I?
No, it's just it is 2.
Yeah, because she gave away that one to the guy on that Ratley guy.
Oh, that's right,
And
Ratley
then,
has one
and then
and
she was
Seamus
the
has
one
one.
that suggested we give one to Seamus.
That's right.
Well,
Seamus and Rattler are going to be very confused if we have to contact each other.
Yeah. I mean, it's fine because you're really sweet and we want to make sure our friends were okay. I'm just saying I don't have one.
Do I? I guess I don't have one either.
you do.
No, you do.
We had 5.
Oh, I
You-
do.
yeah,
I'm
you-
just giving everyone else's stuff away.
Yeah, no, you
Is
gave
it?
away
That's fine.
Ganges and then you gave away mine. And it's fine.
Jeez, I thought I was the rogue.
Well, all right. Well, why don't we at least stay in like contact with each other? Let's go together, and then once we're in, if we need to split up, let's just plan to just go in, and let's hug whichever wall seems less. Whichever wall seems less occupied. All right.
Deal.
Sure.
Well, Avantris,
Go ahead.
you lead the way.
I
Thank you for the follow, Breaker.
say, all right.
Try again.
Come near the sound of my voice. Is the first thing I say. Come closer to where I'm talking. Come closer. All right. Now everybody, stick out your hands in front of you, straight out, and then kind of like wave them around in circle. Oh, okay. Oh, wait, stop. Oh no. Okay, I've got two of you. Anulin, have you got anybody's hand?
No, I don't have it.
I don't know.
You have Sylvie and Rona's hand. You're in a fucking
All right.
full circle.
All right.
Put your hand off screen. Oh my god.
Follow me,
on.
and then I lead the way, and I start pulling.
The illusion's complete.
The illusion is real.
and I start pulling everybody behind me.
I need all of you to make a stealth roll at advantage because you're invisible. And you are using Sylvie's spell, not the LeBlanc invisibility potion.
Yes. Well.
23.
19.
13.
18?
Okay, so you are clasping hands. You make your way down the main track. You turn the alley. You see that same familiar sign. The splayed pink flower. Doesn't look like a rose that you know. On top of a dune, the elaborate papyrus font saying the desert rose.
Why do you have to choose papyrus?
At least it wasn't winged.
You turn your way down the alley. You see that you had seen previously the evening before when it had been kind of open. A number of individual kind of women standing outside, human, dragonborn, Genasi, and Aarakocra, beckoning in passers-by to enjoy carnal pleasures of the desert rose. No such women are posted tonight, despite it being prime time, you would guess.
Oh boy.
Soldiers, enforcers, hyenas sniffing around, dragonborn, rough-looking humans, the occasional gnoll, all looking around. The occasional vulture-headed Aarakocra, falcon-headed Aarakocra, all outside, looking around in high alert. It seems to be incredibly heavily dense, as you see main stairs going up on either side, kind of the outcroppings of this building, and you see the dome from this kind of first-level building in the center, with these two towers on either side of this dome, rising up several stories, topped by a singular tower room, bulbed tops. Several slotted windows, no more than almost like the archery slats that you've seen at King Krem's Keep, glowing with candlelight or torchlight. It's hard to tell from where you are. But with the heavy presence
How high is it?
I would probably say 4 to 5 stories.
Oh wow. Okay, so it's like a huge
You
building.
can see it's a very large building. You can see windows all along these towers rising up to these bold tops. All with windows, varying light. Some are out. Some are kind of glowing with this sensual red light. It's very easy to deduce what a lot of these rooms are for. That's just one. That's the primary alley where this is at. Kind of, we'll say you duck around and you scout it out. There is a weapon shop on the other side, as well as a large, elaborate restaurant featuring a lot of Nekbeshan favored cuisine. A lot of uses of goat, some camel, some strange exotic flavors and spices from the southern continent of Nekbat.
Oh, I just got Nose's joke. 2319. It's from Monsters Inc.
Oh,
it is?
Wow, that
Yes.
is deep cut, fam. Thank you, Nose.
Sorry, buddy. You're there for me for Billy Joel. I'm there for you for Monsters Inc. You know, just how it works.
What are you guys doing?
With all of the armament and enforcement, the alleyway that we went down previously, or came back up, is it guarded? I mean, it doesn't look like there's any.
Is.
Right, so it doesn't look like there's any. So we're not right on it, right? We're a little
You're
bit.
not.
So I'm gonna whisper to the gang and just say, it doesn't appear that there's anywhere obvious for us to slip in. I'm not sure where to go from here.
I don't know. I don't really want to blow my only other spell.
Well, what is it? I'm not asking you to use it, but...
Well, I was thinking that it would be kind of funny if I made us all look like those hyenas, and made you look like a dragonborn, and you could be leading 3 of the hyenas in to do some kind of inspection, and if you looked really powerful and the hyenas looked super vicious and snarling, then maybe they would let you by.
That sounds like some pretty serious magic.
Yeah.
And that sounds way too risky. I think we just need to make it some kind of diversion or some kind of distraction. Or are there any gaps between the soldiers, or is it shoulder to shoulder blocking?
Not shoulder to shoulder, with soldier to soldier. There is a high level of patrol, but you get the sense that you could probably kind of weave in and out. It would be difficult.
I'm also worried that those beasts might smell us.
Me too.
There's a large teal circle above each of them.
Go fuck
I'm
yourself,
just kidding. That's not actually what it is.
Like an eyeball.
True sight.
World of Warcraft, that's not actually what it is, but you get
An illusion. What are you hiding?
illusion. What are you hiding? Not actually.
Well, that's a fair point. I mean, can we look around for some kind of alley? Wait.
Well, the only issue is that it looks like the alleys that we went down previously are heavily guarded now.
So, is there any alley in the back that we saw that wasn't as guarded?
There were no alleys that were immediately apparent around the Desert Rose. However, you have not been through the weapon shop and the restaurant on the other side.
I just think that if they were smart and the building is in somewhat of a square formation, no matter what direction we go, they're going to have every side at least watched.
Yeah, they would be stupid not to.
Right, but it
Agreed.
may be less guarded than this entrance.
I doubt it.
Why don't we take a quick look? Just a quick 180 around.
I mean, sure, but it's a waste of time, and she may be dead by then.
How much time do we have on the spell?
Well, it was an hour, and my skin never tells me the correct time. Every time I look at it, it looks the same.
It hasn't been too long, but...
Unless we want to try to wedge our way through. I say let's go
I
around
think a
and see what we can
diversion
do.
sounds like a great idea.
I'm looking through my bag of tricks.
I just don't know what I don't know what we could do.
What if you do some just kind of illusion of sound, of hyenas attacking something around the corner so they all freak out and run after it?
I still have 2,749 ball bearings. They might come in handy here.
But not
They
just yet.
may, but probably not for the diversion.
Well, not all 2,000. I was thinking just maybe a handful at one of the soldiers' faces. It'll be confusing for the most part.
I think all that's going to do is draw all their attention to the area we want to go in. I think we want to draw their attention away. But I don't think the sound of howling hyenas is going to make the hyenas go to another place. I think they're just going to go, huh, 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 huh,
What
and
if-
then sniff each other's butts.
What if we were to create an illusion of some, an enforcer sounding voice saying that the will-o-wisp has been spotted or the will-o-wisp has escaped, and that might make them go chase this.
It may, but depending on who hears it, then we could be fucked, because if they have her, they'll know, hey, that's not true, and then they'll be on alert.
That's why let's just do a quick 180 and check the other entrances. It's real quick.
Sure, but nothing's gonna happen from it.
Alright, let's just go. Just we don't waste time.
All right, but I don't think that we should try to stay joined hands and all weave through. Maybe just send Annulin and I to go our own separate way and take a look real quick, and we'll be right back.
Alright, just use the walkie-talkie.
Yeah, you can just let us know what's going on. I'll hold Rodek's hand because we can dimension door in if we need to.
Then I'll tell them that I'll take left and Annulin should take right, and to look to the back of the building and return as quickly as possible.
Okay. So, you make your way around the Desert Road. Seems to be the largest building in the Sunsteel Ward that you've seen. You know that some of the buildings have kind of these towers, this strange architecture that's not very common to the continent that you're on, Karkinos, but you get the sense is relatively the style of Nekbet, continent to the south that your old companion Ganji was from. As you turn around, you notice there's a weapon shop with this kind of a sign that says, "Oh, thank you for whatever that is." Thank you for the raid. Welcome to Legends of Avantris. We're basically kind of doing an infiltration of this strange
brothel.
Whorehouse, where Sylvie Flickerwick and a gnome, her sister is allegedly being held captive by this gang. So we're doing that now. So hopefully you enjoy. So. You are making your way around. The weapon shop seems to be called the Purple Worm. Cool. Advertising Sunsteel weapons. Sunsteel Ward, Sunsteel weapons. You kind of poke around outside. You see that this building, poke around inside, you see there seem to be some individuals perusing their wares, lingering towards the back door in this building. You pass by. You find the other building on this other side of this block, the Drunken Goat restaurant. Primarily goat-based meals, very authentic. You smell the rich spices of far-off lands, particularly Nekbeshan's scents, as kind of the roasting goat flesh kind of hits your nostrils. It smells delicious. These spices and scents and sauces kind of overwhelm you as the two of you sneak in stealthily, and you poke around. I need both of you to roll an investigation or perception. We'll say perception.
Both of us or just Vandris?
Both of you.
17.
17. Annulin.
Ooh.
Natural 20.
Love hearing that dice roll.
That's a 15.
You look around and you see there's a number of tables quite filled. It seems to be quite a hopping restaurant. You also notice a back door kind of towards an alleyway. A number of lingering dragonborn, heavily armed, surprisingly so, for a restaurant and for a shop. Kind of taking a look at both of these doors. You get the sense that they're all on high alert. That's the gist of what you get. You head back towards the group.
As I'm going back towards the place that we left, that I left the group, I pull out the walkie-talkie and I just whisper into it like, "I'm coming back. I'm very close to where I left. Where are you guys? Give me a whistle or something. Let me know I'm close." Psst. Psst.
Where are you?
I'm almost back to the front of the place.
Here, Rodek.
Are you? Do you see that red dragonborn?
Yes.
One.
With that like weird thing on his head?
Yeah, I
What
see
weird
it.
You see him?
Yep.
No.
Yeah, we're like kind of near him, but like behind him.
We who?
As I get closer, I put the rock back in my pocket and I say, "Psst, hey guys, can you hear me?" Annulin, are you back? Are you with us?
I think so.
Rodek, I think there's someone else here with us.
No, that's them.
It's us.
That's who?
It's the elves.
Oh,
It's those weird elves.
hi.
This place is locked down.
This is really tough without a walkie-talkie of my own.
There was a weapons shop and there was some sort of a restaurant. But this place they're armed to the teeth and this is locked down. I suppose if I had to, I could turn into a bat and take a look on the roof. But I really don't want to do that when there have been vampires afoot.
The problem is, You may be able to do that, but we're going to have a hell of a time getting everyone up there if we can find a way in.
I know.
And this isn't something you're going to be able to do on your own.
I know.
But Annulin might be able to do it on her own because she is the best we've got.
Oh, wow, that's interesting. I think she might be the best that we've got.
Yeah.
I'd lend you my cloak, but you're just so much better than me, you probably don't need it.
And what do you say? Sorry.
I was just saying, it's so good to finally hear you admit it.
Oh, well, like I said, I'd lend you my cloak, but you probably don't need it. So good luck flying up onto the top of the roof of the building.
How high is the tower?
Very tall.
It's about 5 stories up.
Like, what's the material made out of? Is it just like a
It is
stone or
this
what?
kind of sandstone brick all the way around. The occasional wooden poles kind of for structure poking out occasionally as it rises up. You see that same kind of gilded bulbed top on each of them that kind of gives it that Sunsteel Ward flair. And you see the slatted windows, but it is made of brick.
I'm assuming there's no, like, convenient Assassin's Creed style chip in the wall that I
No,
can
go
climb
fuck
up.
yourself.
I mean, it is brick, so depending on how strong your fingertips are
If you
and
take,
how well you roll,
if she takes damage, will she come out of invisibility?
No.
No?
No, she has to attack or cast a spell.
So she falls off the building, like I'm hoping she does, and takes damage. She won't become
No,
invisible.
she'll still invisible. She'll still be invisible.
Wizards,
She'll be in pain, but
get on those
invisible.
rules and fix that, please.
So I'm gonna not say anything and then try, like, just kind of back away and move maybe 5 to 10 feet away from where they're standing and try to climb the wall.
Okay, so we need to come up with another plan then.
Yeah, so, I got nothing.
okay.
What about the broom? I mean, what if I fly up on the roof, find something, talkie you guys, and you know the rest of us broom up there? Is the broom invisible if you use it?
Yes, but Rodick doesn't like using the broom. We learned that when he decided to almost plummet to his death from a rickety old bridge.
That's true. Maybe he's learned.
Well, Avantris, you could fly up there. Maybe Annulin, can you climb up there? Do you think you can do that?
Annulin?
Annulin? Oh no, they
Annulin is climbing the building. Make an athletics check. Annulin.
Is it athletics?
Yes, it is.
Can I?
So,
19.
Annulin,
This
you
is
are
bullshit.
fucking Assassin's Creeding the shit out of this building. You sneak your way out. You kind of dodge between a white dragonborn, blue dragonborn, another blue dragonborn, another blue dragonborn. As you remember, the caravan is predominantly made of blue dragonborn. You start finding grips in these sandstone and clay bricks as you're climbing and climbing and climbing as you start to scale.
Is there any dust or like anything coming off the building?
Make a perception check.
There is, but you don't know this.
Yeah, let's fucking see what the dice say there, lady. I don't notice anything.
You don't notice shit.
I kind of feel like I should be lucky because I really want to start throwing things at her.
Annulin, you make a perception check for me. How about that?
I've lost my die. Oh, it's nothing funny. That ain't good. 8.
That's what I got.
You hear the off cries of pleasure as you scale past windows. You kind of peek an eye in, invisible, and you see the occasional dragonborn kind of mounted over some kind of feminine shape.
Jesus.
I mean, we're getting to real shit here, guys.
This is real life.
This is real life.
This is mature streaming.
As you come,
This is where you
Oh, fuck.
as you kind of hear off,
No.
you see the human,
No.
various races kind of, you hear off the cries as you climb your way, and where you're headed, you start to see that at the very top of, wait, there are 2 towers. Which did you scale? There's the one closest to you, which is, so basically there's an alleyway. Here, I'll actually draw on the map.
Oh,
The Batman bucket is beneath you, Rich, right there.
Oh, here we are.
Okay, so
Batman bucket.
Yeah, Batman bucket.
So just here's the street, right? And then there's basically this.
Turn that. Oh, yeah, there you go.
We're gonna change the camera here. more or less. So,
Just gotta rotate. Yeah.
ooh, okay, it's fine. So this is the gist of the building. It's not exactly right? But there's stairs going down here, right? Here's the door into this place. There's a dome right here, kind of like at the center here. There's a tower here and a tower here, rising up into the sky.
And where are we standing right now? Where
You
we
guys are like here, looking, and there's like hyenas and like dragonborn. They're all like standing at attention here. They're kind of going along this business. So tower here, tower here. Which are you scaling?
I guess it would be the one that's closest to us because I didn't move too far away.
That is convenient. So
Whoa.
So, you are making your way, scaling up and up and up. We'll keep your perception roll. And as you start to see these slitted windows that look no more than a foot, 2 feet across, maybe 3 feet tall, if you're lucky. Glowing firelight all up at the top. And just kind of extend out. You gotta do some real like parkour shit as you climb up and around. We'll keep your athletics roll pretty well done for an agility
As
base.
I'm moving up, do I
Yep.
see any like windows that I pass that are the rooms are empty?
I will say that you do.
Yeah.
I will say that you pass 2 different rooms that are empty. Most of them seem to be filled. Some the occasional female shape, a variety of races, that are bored, kind of smoking out of this strange, elaborate hookah-shaped thing. Others are kind of are filled with the cries of ecstasy. Others, there's 2 that are empty. Dark, low oil lamp, light very faintly flickering, closed door.
Okay.
Entry
So
to
the first one that I would have come to, I would want to just pause at the window
Got
and
it.
listen and see if I hear anything.
Perception check for me, please.
Finally won.
Murder these dice. 13.
13. You listen, and although you can hear kind of the faint sounds of this brothel elsewhere, you hear nothing coming from this room. Window is too narrow for you to fit, but you hear nothing. It seems to be open to the bayou air of Agwe, but you hear nothing.
Okay, and you said it's too. Oh, okay, so it's too small for me to fit through.
I would say that's the case. Yeah.
Ew. Okay.
You could
then I'll
certainly
keep coming.
try, but it's gonna be tight.
Can I try to fit through, or is it just not even worth it?
Please, no.
I would say you can
Please get
try.
stuck.
I would say make a dexterity check. Straight dexterity.
Let me switch out my dice. 1 second.
If you get stuck and you can't rocky-talkie us, then we'll never find you until the invisibility
I
spell
have
wears off.
talkie.
You won't be able to reach it if you're stuck in a brick window.
I'm not gonna wiggle through like this, you idiot. I'll like put
Okay.
an arm through.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, sure. Good luck. Can't wait to get shot in the ass when your invisibility spell wears off.
What am I doing again? I'm sorry.
Dexterity.
Athletics?
Dexterity.
Oh, dexterity.
Yeah.
Ooh, 18. No, that's a saving throw. Hold on.
Plus 5.
14.
14. You kind of manage to kind of wiggle your way in, and you start to kind of get towards your like waist, and it's like, ugh, it's kind of. You realize it'll take you like a while and maybe a little bit of grease to kind of grease your way into this slat.
Okay. I don't have any butter in my rations, I'm assuming.
Probably not. Probably not.
At this
Lord.
point, you hear on the Rocky talking. Annalyn, where did you go?
I had to pee. Just let
like
me know if
to-
you guys go anywhere.
I'd like to insight check that.
Sure. Deception, please, Annalyn.
Ooh.
Good thing my insight is terrible. 14.
That's a 20.
That's such bullshit.
She's very. She had
22.
to piss her brains out.
All right. Well, that's unusual because this is a pretty important time to be doing things. So we need to come up with a plan.
I was nervous.
So,
Well, Avantris, I think you should turn into a bat and try to fly in. I think that's our safest bet at this point. An invisible
No,
bat.
I don't think that it is. Because I don't think it's a safe bet for him to be in there by himself. You don't know what they have. You don't know if they have anybody in there that can see through invisibility. If they've been tracking this person for a while, there's a very good chance they do. And the moment that happens and they find out there's an invisible bat, they're going to think he's a Dracula. And then the very next thing that happens is Avantris is dead.
But then you get my arm.
Yeah, I know, and I do want your arm. Actually, I think I'm probably going to take both of them because it's taken too long for you to die. But I still don't think that I want you to die the same day my sister dies.
Well, I agree. I'd also like to not to die. I guess I was just hoping to take a look at the roof and see, what kind of, I don't know. We're running out of time and options here. We have to make a decision one way or another.
Well, once you're a bat, you can't walkie-talkie us. I say we just walk in the front door. We just try to weave through.
Again,
We're running out of time.
I think that's fine. I just don't think we'll be able to stay with our hands joined. It'll be best if we can move freely
I agree.
True.
and try to move at our own free will and best we possibly can.
All right.
Maybe we don't all take the same entrance, but we'll just try to get inside.
Yeah.
All
Are there windows on the first floor? Like not parpet windows, like Archer's parpet
no,
windows?
it seems that there's no windows until these towers.
What does the front door look like?
Front door is this large double door that these stairs kind of rise up to. You see the old familiar sign of the pink flower rising up from the sand dune.
Is it barred off? Is it open?
No, there seems to be the occasional dragonborn will walk in and out.
So the
Opens
doors
up.
aren't just open.
No.
Like they're not like
They're closed,
welcoming.
but occasionally a guard will kind of walk in.
Let's follow a guard in.
I mean, we'd have to go one at a time. I don't know if the door stays open long enough for all three of us to slip in. But maybe we could try. If we're quick.
Once the first one is in, then let's just that person hold it open. And hopefully he doesn't think to close it behind them. And if he does, then we'll just adjust.
All right, I suppose we can line up outside the front door and try to wait for an opening. I mean, this is tough.
I mean, the longer we wait out there, the more likely those dogies are going to smell us.
Agreed.
Have we thought about just asking them if we can go
So, Annulin, what are you doing, by the way?
Realizing that I'm fresh out of butter, I would have wiggled my way back out and continued climbing.
Okay. So you're climbing continually. You guys are talking a little bit more until you get to the top. So you're going to the top, Annulin.
Yeah, any available opportunity. I guess all the windows are the same. If there were a larger one, I would go towards that, but otherwise just for the top.
Okay. What are you guys doing?
Annulin, are you done pissing yet?
I've been really focusing on hydration as part of like a New Year's challenge, and I'm still, still working on it.
Avantris, why is Rhoda talking about pissing?
Oh.
What is pissing?
Sorry, Annulin told us that she's urinating.
Oh.
It seems fishy to me.
And dwarves call it pissing?
I can't speak to that.
Dwarves are so weird.
So here's the thing. I'm confident that I can get in. I just don't know how. We're each kind of on our own here, is my point.
Well, why don't you get in? I can get in. Why don't we all just try to get in, right? We have our walkie-talkies. Let's all just try to get in.
All right, I'm going to sneak to the door.
All right, I'll let you go first.
Okay. So, I will say right as you're deciding that, Annulin, you get to the top of the tower. You peek your head in. You see a torch-lit room, circular. You kind of realize that there's a circular room with a semicircular outcropping, north, south, east, and west.
Like a balcony?
No, just basically kind of built out along this kind of bulbous top room on this tower.
Okay.
4 pillars extend from the floor to the ceiling in this room, and the roof to support the structure. Torchlight illuminates the pillared space, and you see in perception check for me actually.
12.
I'll say torchlight illuminates this room. You see a large metal table. Sits Dragonborn. Seems to be female in build, red scaled face, body. Whatever skin is exposed through the heavy armor. Heavily scarred. Reminds you of the description Vanders told you at the meeting with Guru. She has a huge spiked steel maul propped up against this large metal table she's sitting at. You also notice, flanking almost every spare inch of this room, guards, heavily armored, Dragonborn, Aarakocra, human, Knoll, standing at attention. Right below you, in this window, and in the other outcroppings that you can see, are these large pillows laying on the floor, on top of which, directly but at least beneath you as you kind of peer in, 5 women, varying races. 1 Dragonborn, 2 human, 1 elf, 2 Genasi. Is that 5? 6. 6 women.
Bonus hookers.
Oh, yeah.
Dressed in very simple linens, chained together, looking morose, very rough, barely conscious. One of the pillars rising up to the ceiling next to this large wooden table has a number of chains wrapped around it, but from your vantage point you can't really quite see what it is. As you see.
Okay, so describe to me again, so like, I'm at a window and I can see through
You're
this?
at a window. So basically it's a circular room, a kind of semicircle open outcropping, kind of basically the semicircle room with an out-jutting stone brick, rather a brick, clay brick, jutting on north, south, east, west.
Like completely open.
Completely open. Open to the Ogway air. You are on the west side, peering in to this open window, hanging on these bricks, kind of sticking your invisible head through, looking at torches are hanging from these 4 pillars, propping up the ceiling, these domed ceiling. Directly beneath you at this window are these 6 women laying on these pillows.
How far down from the window, like to the floor, were there?
They're probably about 4 feet.
4 feet. And is the window the same size as the others? Like I still couldn't fit through?
Yep.
Okay. From where I am, can I see what, like, the entrance to this room?
There seems to be at the south entrance a door. Single rectangular door. You see that there's kind of a sconce, very visible kind of pillows at either north, south, east. Southern area totally closed off with these brick. Single door. Seems to be closing off this space.
Does the door look like it has a lock on it?
Not a padlock that you can see, but it does have a hole where it seems like it can be locked. You see this heavily scarred red dragonborn female poring over a number of documents, occasionally open up this leather tome, all of these scrolls kind of looking through. Numbers, letters. It's very difficult to see from where you're at. Poring over letters and these documents.
Okay. How far from, like, where the girls are sitting, how far is the closest guard standing next to them?
Probably 2 feet, 3 feet.
Okay, so like really close.
Basically, every spare foot of this room has an attention caravan guard, soldier, enforcer. Whatever word you want to use.
Okay. Could I get like a rough count on how many people are up there?
I would say 16.
Okay. Are any of the guards particularly looking at the women on the floor?
With that perception check, I would say that they're all standing at attention. No, they're not looking at the women on the floor.
Okay. So I'm just going to... I would like to use Druidcraft and make sort of like a very quick illusion of like flower petals, like right in front of the girls.
Okay.
Very quickly, like just enough that they would notice and then it disappears.
Make a sleight of hand. Check.
Would that break what you call it?
Oh, if you cast a spell, you break invisibility by
Too late, she did it! Die, Annual,
I
die!
would say that you would know that.
Oh.
Well, it's a question, is a cantrip a spell?
Yes,
Yes, it
I
is.
would say
Yes.
that'll count.
Oh, absolutely. It's a
So
spell.
you
And I
can.
won't do that.
You won't do that.
You sure?
That's
Also,
fine.
you're a real dick. And he's not Vandrit.
It scared the shit out of me when he started screaming.
Okay, so I will just take account of that, and then I am going to start climbing back down as quickly as I can safely.
So she starts climbing back down. You guys are ready to start going in the front door.
Yeah, simultaneously we've been doing this.
Okay.
So the first opportunity, I'm slipping in.
Okay. So you start to see start to see a green and a blue dragonborn walk up with their hyena. They pass it off to a red dragonborn. Pass it off, and they start making their way shoulder to shoulder out to the door. They knock. The door cracks open. Who's at the lead?
Hard to say because
Yes.
we're all invisible.
Vandris is.
But I mean,
Proficiency.
with all of us.
Rather than proficiency, perception check, please.
Okay. God, this is my worst.
He said he was.
Oh, that's pretty good. 23.
23. You notice a blue dragon head poke its way out, singular horn peering from the head. The body, you see the armor kind of peering through the cracked door. Very large, almost the size of Regarda, the red dragonborn that you saw several nights prior. Female in shape as well. And you kind of hear voices discussing. The door opens wide, welcoming them in. Are all of you following?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just as close as I can be to them, again, without knowing where they are, because I can't see them.
Okay.
I'm going to try to tail these two Dragonborn as close as I possibly can without being noticed and just try to follow them.
Okay. I have all your stealth rolls.
Mm-hmm.
You all follow behind them. And you all make it
Oh, wow.
as the door closes behind you. And they both salute. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, immediately upon entering, if there are any dark corners or corridors, I want to, like, duck and stay in the darkness.
So I'll explain rather what you see. The door opens. This heavily armored blue dragonborn female, scarred several times at least on her face, large broadsword on her back, lets these two in. And you look around at the room. It's this long rectangular room on either side. Pillows extend, the smell of incense and strange exotic spices. As women in every corner of the room, clothed, half clothed, very naked. Human, dragonborn, Genasi, Eric Okri, the occasional elf, even the dwarf or gnome.
I pull out the walkie-talkie and I say to Rodek, look at the cannons on that one.
Lying on these kind of pillows, outcroppings, looking incredibly bored. No men. No customers really at all. They're all just looking occasionally, these large, elaborately sculpted devices with these tubes and nozzles for them to smoke out of. They occasionally take a puff. They occasionally see these strange syringes. They'll shoot into someone's eye. Looks very familiar to the Dune Spice Annulin that you had. Can't come pumped up, but ultimately very bored as you follow in. 2 Dragonborn that you follow in, both of you are following it, of Avantris. You manage to sneak in. Door shuts behind you. You see this female Dragonborn. Have you seen any interlopers? No, God Captain Zolga. We have not. We have been watching the Aarakocra have been watching. Ikis has sent in all of his spies. We have seen no one. We are not expecting anything. Our hyenas, we are using every single one of them. He leans down, kind of towering over both of these male Dragonborn. That's very good. We are expecting guests tonight, as you know. And nothing may go wrong. Well, you know what Regarda will do. You know what he will do. Yes, God Captain Zolga. And one of them passes. Another blue. She's blue, and the other one that is you followed in. I believe it was a green. Walks further in. Blue leans in. She whispers. I need the 3 of you to roll perception checks.
Oh, finally got a bad one. 9.
20.
20.
I believe.
Rudek, you
Yeah, I'm
hear
sorry,
very
guys.
faintly. Tonight may be the night, brother. Blue Dragonborn looks at her. They do a Roman salute, or a Roman handshake. They grasp each other's arms. They shake. And this large female Dragonborn with her large broadsword on her back nods, and both of them enter. You are now in the main room of the Desert Rose. There's a number of members of this brothel, prostitutes and otherwise. You see ahead of you, or above you, a large steel glass dome. Exotic designs, a purple worm out of sand dunes. An enormous dragon, blue, enormous horn, rising up, wings splayed about, rising out of a black lake.
This is like a or is it a painting? Like
It's a steel glass, stained glass.
Oh.
This music is.
Annulin, you're scaling back down as the 3 of you settle in. The 3 of you, what are you doing?
Again, I mean, at this point, we can't read each other's minds or really know where we are. So do we see the direction that they walked off into?
I will say that they walk off, kind of heading out. You see directly in front of you, side wall, there's a door to a staircase. I think it's probably easy to do, some circular staircase. On your left and on your right, on towers.
Okay, that's what I was getting.
Heading straight up.
So do we see which one they went up, or are they just still in the lobby?
The green one walks off to one of the groups of the females that are bored around this hookah device, smoking, and seems to be taking it easy for a few minutes.
Are these
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, are the tower staircases doored?
Yes, both of them are doored.
Okay.
So, do we get the sense that the Will-O-Wisp isn't here? That they're waiting for somebody to show up?
What you know is what you know.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't know how we'd be able to deduce anything more
Well,
than that.
Yeah, I guess that's a good
I
point.
guess my point is this is out of character. My point is that this is difficult, right? Because we can't communicate, right? I mean, I would say that there are enough people close between the women, the guard.
I would say that you are all within a foot of each other. Yeah. You can feel each other's presence.
Is it even worth like whisper? I would say, can I judge the distance? Like I don't think
I would say talking. You know that you're all invisible and you're very stealthy. I would say that you have that comfortably.
Okay, well then, feeling confidence, I'm going to whisper, just very lowly. I mean, very lowly to them. There appear to be staircases up the towers, but I don't know how we'll open those doors. They could be locked, and I can't pick a lock without being noticed, even if I'm invisible. It's just risky. We're in here, out of the fire and into the frying pan and into the fire.
And the moment he starts speaking, I scream at the top of my lungs, "A ghost!" I'm just kidding. I don't.
I was gonna say, well,
that's it.
I'm dead.
Everyone reroll. You are all silent. Avantris, you say that. Annulin, you arrive at this point back down to the street, alone. You see a number of dragonborn walking around, patrolling with their giant hyenas or sniffing around. They don't seem to notice you.
I'm still invisible, right?
You are.
Okay. I'll pull out my walkie-talkie and say, "Guys, where are you?"
I take my walkie-talkie and I said, "I went to take a piss," and I put it back in my pocket.
We're inside. Sneak in.
How? I can't believe you guys left me. I just had to take a pee.
Time was of the essence. Just sneak behind somebody. It's very easy, surprisingly.
Who is he talking to?
I turned to I almost called you Blacksea, to Sylvie, and I say, Annulin's asking where we are after she disappeared. You guys stay here. I'm just gonna go inspect the door. I'm not gonna try to do anything to it. I just want to take a look at it.
Okay.
I'm gonna creep over to the closest tower staircase door.
Left or right?
Which one's closer? DM's
They're
choice.
both equally close.
Well, fuck.
There is a large rectangular room.
Right.
So, dome ahead of you is here.
Okay.
Left tower, right tower. There's women and pillows and all this delightful hookah and drugs all over the fucking place. Left tower, right tower, dome, central. They are both equidistant. You guys are about like here.
I want to go to the right tower.
Okay. You go to the right tower.
I'd like to just get up to the door and inspect it to see if there's a locking mechanism.
Investigation check, please.
Yeah. 22.
You listen in. And you inspect it. Seems to be unlocked from your roguish expertise. Seems to be...
Does it have a handle mechanism?
It has a knob mechanism. As you kind of listen in, and we'll just include this in the investigation check, you hear a voice outside, from the other side of the door, that says, "Ikis, and Solga, I've been talking a lot lately. I have noticed. Do you think tonight will be the night? I don't know, but I think Regarda is weak. Tonight's guest will show." Silence after that.
After hearing the voices, I'm not going to attempt to enter the door, and in fact,
Okay.
I'm going to return back to where I believe I left the gang.
You guys have not moved?
I'll just, hey, are you guys here?
Yeah. Sorry.
And I'll let them know what I heard and say, I don't want to get too excited here, but it sounds like mutiny. We've experienced that once or twice.
Well, and it sounds like the will-o-wisp isn't here yet.
I mean, it's impossible to know who they're talking about. I still, if I were to dig up my memory, I would think that perhaps...
Thank you for the
Oh,
follow.
thank you for the
Papa
follow,
Trail Doc.
Papa Trail Doc. Great
I'm
name.
just gonna pull it up
We'll work on it. Thank you so much for the follow. We love
will
you.
work on
Welcome to the Avantris
I
family.
love you. You're part of us now.
That's one way to put it.
I don't really want to get into the whole, talking about the reading and whatnot, but I'm still not entirely convinced that the Will-O-Wisp isn't already captured here. But that's just my 2 cents. I don't know who they're expecting. It's impossible to know. But something is going... It sounds like people are anticipating something possibly happening tonight. Something big.
Well, did you see any way, like, downstairs, any kind of, like, dungeon or prison or anything?
Not that I noticed. I can try to take more of a look. It's just these tower entrances. I guess I'll take a quick look around the room to see if I see any other entrance that may not be a tower entrance. But I guess that would be hard to discern.
Investigation check annually. What are you doing?
So in the meantime, while they're doing that, I would have walked as close as I could get to the door safely without like touching any of the guards, and just waited for, I guess, the next group of people to walk through if I see anyone coming.
There is a singular blue dragonborn. Walks up. 2 knocks. Door opens. Large female, slightly scarred. 1 scar over the eye. Dragonborn opens it. Is enough time for you to get in, we'll say.
Okay, I would have just kind of
You
quickly sidled up
follow in
close
on
and
keeping your
another.
stealth roll from previous. It's enough. You dart in. The hyenas behind you, sniffing around outside. All of you are inside the Desert Rose now. You see the same sight that the rest of the party does. Women on pillows, smoking, enjoying, bored, however, out of their minds without any customers. However, you see a large female dragonborn leaning in deep to the blue dragonborn that you played, that you followed. Tonight, baby, is a night. Once a guest comes, I will make my decision, be on high alert. Salute from the male dragonborn that enters. Yes, Guard Captain Zolga. Walks into the room. Seems to be relieved from his duty for the moment. You follow in. You kind of stumble in. Your knee hits a hairy thing that seems to be Rodek's beard. You get kneed in the chin.
We're here!
What was that?
It was me! You stepped right on top of me!
Is your chin really at my knee?
Well, no, not quite that low, but you were walking very high, like, you were doing like knee highs.
Why would I be doing that?
I don't know why you walk like that. I've seen you do it a few times, so that's probably what you were doing.
I got a
No,
15.
you were probably just being a short little dwarf.
I'm probably only like a foot or so shorter than you.
Well, I'm sorry. I'm agitated. I'm upset you guys left me while I was peeing.
Well, I told you to hurry. Anyway, I think that we assume that there's no one here yet, and that we just need to wait for the guests to arrive.
My guess is she's probably already dead, so we should just go back to the hotel.
No.
Avantris. While they discuss this, you listen in, you hear nothing. On the door that you listen in on the left tower.
I wanted to see if I could find a door that didn't appear to be a tower door.
Seems to be. Those are the only 2 doors in here.
Alright, I'll return and let Rodek know. It doesn't seem to be any kind of a basement entrance, but that doesn't mean that it's not hidden or some sort of trap door. The only doors that I've been able to find in this current state are the doors to the towers.
You now hear Vanders talking. Seems to connect to some things that you just fucking saw.
Did you hear anything behind those doors?
Yeah, I mean, it sounded like they said, they're waiting for some sort of big event. They mentioned that what appeared to be their leader seems weak. It sounded like a mutiny, very much like the one that we started back on that island. I mean, they sound like they are potentially in disarray. So they're expecting something big to happen. We don't know what.
Which tower was this?
It was this tower on the right, and I point to this one. I guess because we're all like over here.
Which one was? Hold on.
The right. It was not a tower that you went up.
So you went up this one.
Okay.
It was in that one.
Okay, that center thing is just a dome, right?
It's a dome. It's a stained glass dome over this. That you get the sense that in the noon and afternoon sun, will kind of shining as you're enjoying the carnal pleasures of the desert rose.
I think we need to get to the top of both of the towers to see if she's being held there.
I guess the issue is it sounds like they're guarded at the very least. I mean, we're running out of time again. I don't know how much longer this spell will last.
Probably not much longer at all.
Guys, I have an admission. Admission? I have to tell you something. I wasn't peeing. Avantris' poking got the best of me, and I was trying to get to the top of that tower, and I did. I got to the top, but I didn't find a way in. I saw a lot of rooms, a lot of girls working, I guess you'd say, and at the very top there seemed to be someone pretty important. Not the one you were talking about, Vanders, not that tower, but the opposite tower. It sounded a lot like the person you described when all that weird stuff happened.
That must be the one that they said was weak. They said that she was weak.
Should we go tell her that they said that she was weak and watch her kill them all in a furious rage?
That's one way to quell or start a mutiny, I suppose.
I don't think we could get up there. She's got a lot of guards with her, and it looks like slave women as well.
How many guards?
Like they're in pretty bad shape. Like 15, 16. From what I could see.
Correct.
We should check the other tower then, I mean.
Well, there were voices behind that door, that's all I'm saying. We're gonna be in for a fight one way or another if we're caught where we're not supposed to be.
Well, perhaps we'll wait like 5 minutes. Hopefully when the door opens one way or another and we sneak in through.
As Rodok says that, you see one of the blue dragonborns walking in to the left tower, where you guys are near. Door swings open. 2 dragonborn on either side.
To this tower though,
Yep.
right? This is the one that Anya went up.
Correct.
Not this one, okay.
They lean in, whisper a few things.
Can we try to hear?
All 4 of you make a perception check.
Come on, Papa needs a new information. 15.
22.
14.
17.
You and I are on the out now.
Always.
You hear the dragonborn say, "The gas will be here soon. Make sure everything is ready. Tell Regarda." The door is wide open. As he starts to walk through into this tower. What are you guys doing?
Should we go in?
That was the one that she said was heavily guarded.
Having been in here and being able to look around, does it look like the only entrance to this area is from the front door? So their guests would be coming in through the front door?
Yeah.
I'm gonna wait.
Okay.
Here's the thing. Not knowing where either of these towers go, and not knowing what lies beyond each door and what lies on each floor, I'm kind of inclined to just wait and see what happens. The problem is that I don't know how much time we have left to be invisible.
Well, Salvi could cast it again.
Yeah, but I won't.
I say let's wait by this tower. If the door opens, let's get in there.
You still have my potion, right? The one that I gave you, so you had 2?
No, after I used it, I returned it.
No, I told you I can take it from you.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay, then I still have it.
Okay.
You guys may need those.
You can't cast it again?
No, I physically am capable, but I will not do it.
How are we all going to go invisible again?
You have a potion that will make you invisible.
Alright, that's fine, but do we have enough for all of us?
You have enough for the 3 of you.
What are you going to do?
I have not figured that out yet.
Alright, well, why don't we just...
How much longer does it,
I will say you probably know you have about 20 minutes left.
I have about 20 minutes left. We'll figure it out when we get closer.
Alright, let's wait by this tower door. And let's just see what happens.
Fine.
Okay, so you're gonna wait. 5, 7, 8 minutes pass. You hear rustling outside, voices, shouting. As you see the large blue dragonborn female known as Zolga, Guard Captain Zolga, call out, "The guest is arriving! Everything must be as we had planned. You ready?"
Sorry.
That's it.
I was just gonna say, does the shouting sound like excited, or does it sound like I don't know the other word for that, like uptight?
Like tense?
Tense.
Tense.
Tense is exactly the word you would say. There is a level of tense calm that arrives over the Desert Rose.
Okay, sorry, continue.
You wait. 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 3 knocks. Door opens. The guest is here. We will take him to Regarda.
Mm-hmm.
The door opens. You see your footsteps. Falling up, 2 by 2. Blue Dragonborn, Blue Dragonborn, Blue Dragonborn. Standing at the doorway, 2 Dragonborn. They enter the room. Another 2 enter the room, revealing the guest. Dressed in a long-tailed coat, ruffled pants complete with cravat, and a flashy gold buttons, you recognize immediately Alphonse LeBlanc.
Yeah, I knew it! I knew it!
is he like chained up or anything?
He is walking very free behind these 2 Dragonborn. And he turns to this Zolga and he says, "Looking as charming as ever there, Zolga. I assume she is not too busy for little old me, is she?" "No, she is waiting for you. As you know, she already is. She is in the left tower. We will guide you." "Absolutely delightful." And they kind of exchange a look. I need all of you to make an insight check, please.
Holy shit! What does it mean?
15. Man, I am rolling mediocrely.
19.
17.
My insight is terrible.
They seem to share a knowing look. As his hand lingers from her arm. "Darling, I hope you'll personally escort me. You know that she is a bit prickly." "I will do such a thing." He falls in line behind Guard Captain Zolga. They make their way. He seems to be alone. Walking. The door in the left tower. Zolga. 3 knocks. Door opens.
I'm gonna jump behind and try and follow.
All of you are doing this?
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna whisper, I'm going. And move.
Oh shit, alright.
Okay.
I'll follow behind.
You all follow behind. You see in front of you now, kind of the darkness descends upon you. All of you have dark vision, I think, at this point.
Yep.
You all have dark vision. You see a low-lit spiral staircase winding up. Guard Captain Zolga seems to guide Alphonse up. You see a landing, 2 doors. You hear cries of passion continue upwards. Same thing, same thing, same thing until you get to the top of the staircase. Nowhere to go. You see a single door. Zolga lifts her large left arm, bangs twice.
Thank you for the
Thank you
follow,
for the follow,
Drummer
Drummer
X.
X. I'm also a drummer, so welcome, Drummer GM. So hopefully you enjoy. Our guests have arrived, Regarda. You hear some rustling. 1 moment, 2 moments. Several moments pass. Come in. Door knob turns. Clawed blue hand turns. Opens. With a loud clank as she kind of slams the door open. Zolga steps into the room, followed by Alphonse, followed by the rest of you. Invisible.
No other guards came in the room?
Just Zolga, Alphonse, followed by you. You now step into this room, exactly how Annulin saw. 16 guards flanking every single side. There is an oblong shape, an outcropping on the east, west, north side, each with a small, slatted window. Zolga steps inside. Alphonse follows, his arms outsplayed. Thank you,
Thank
Freckles.
you for the cheer, Freckles.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Steps inside. You following?
Yeah. I think what I'm going to try to do is position myself in a place where there are not so many guards, but like up against the wall, kind of. Like I want to try to position myself in a place, and then I think what I'm going to do is knowing that we don't have a ton of time left, I think I'm going to, because everything that on my person is also invisible, correct?
Yes, everything
Yes.
you hold.
I think I'm going to use the Alphonse potion
Okay.
to extend my and increase my invisibility.
You draw out the long cylindrical vial, the melted, dissolved rose. You are not just invisible, but you make no sound as you down it.
And the only other thing I want to be very aware of is keeping my eye out in case I see Sylvie suddenly reappear. Just in case.
Okay. You see that rectangle by one pillar. The large form of Regarda, who is even taller than Guru. Remy, who you thought no one in this town was taller than Remy Guru. There's one at the very least. Massive female red dragonborn, her fins, 2 large horns extending back out, 2 large fins extending from her head, red scale, fully armored, that large spiked maul resting up against her metal table. You see her scouring over some documents. Annulin, some seem to be put away from when you had seen. Alphonse walks in, as Guard Captain Zolga seems to stand at the door, her hand on the doorknob. Pardon me. You see Alphonse step in, looking around at the full room. Girls, 6 of them total, in the corner, several pillows along the side. He turns towards Regarda. Miss Charhide, how do you do this fine evening? I pray you did not forget the circumstances of this meeting we agreed upon. He looks around the room at the guards and gestures broadly to the entire room as you slip in behind him. Kind of get into this unoccupied. We'll say on the right side of your left side. Wait,
So
your right side. Your right side. Yep. Nope. There.
Here.
You kind of get off to that side. Those 4 pillars are those circles. Gestures. And Regara's standing up at her metal table, as you see there, hesitating. She thinks for a moment as she looks, taking in Alphonse with her blazing golden eyes. She nods to the blue dragonborn that seems to be Guard Captain Zolga. Raises her arm up in the air. Everyone get out now! Caravan soldiers, all 16 of them,
Oh, baby.
immediately follow her command. In a matter of moments, they vacate the room. Captain Zolga steps to the door and grabs it by the handle on the other side.
While this is happening, I want to just sort of slowly feel around and just grab Sylvie. Just wait until I sort of feel Sylvie and just sort of
We'll say
make
you
sure she's
grab
right
her,
there.
you have the gist of where she is.
Just because I know that she can fly, she can teleport and shit. I just
Okay. You feel Rodek's sausagey ass fucking fingers, petery fucking fingers groping the shit
Oh,
out of
that's
you.
my teeth.
She grabs. Captain Zolga steps on the other side of the door and grabs its handle on the other side. Alphonse turns to her. And she turns to him. I need all of you to roll one more insight check.
Dear Lord. I'm so bad at insight. I got a 15 again. I keep rolling 14s for my insight.
9 for me.
14.
10.
They exchange a glance.
Fuck.
As
And
the
this
door
is still
closes
Alphonse and the guard captain.
and Zolga. Blue.
Do the slave girls leave?
No, they seem to be in
No.
their little nook to your left, Andy.
Okay.
So that one.
Nope,
No,
straight
that
ahead.
one. Out,
Oh,
straight
oh, sorry,
that-
across the way.
That's
Across
where the
us.
slave girls are.
Okay.
Zolga steps out with all 16 of the enforcers. So you hear the door locking behind you. Alphonse steps, looking towards Regarda, clasping his hands together as he surveys the emptier room. This pillar, remember, Anulin, you saw from this window, this pillar has chains around it on this side. Regarda standing right about here. If you can...
Oh.
Much better. But I'm going to take one more extra precaution if you don't mind.
Oh no.
You see Alphonse reach into his coat and withdraw a large stick of red chalk. Similarly way to describe it.
Oh!
Leans down and draws an outline of the door that he just came in.
Okay.
Moments later,
So
flashes
He's over here.
and glows. He's right there.
Got it.
There we go. Now the space is completely soundproof. We can speak freely without your restless, near mutinous lackeys listening in, Regarda. He turns his attention to the chained girls. in the corner and frowns. Regarda. He's towards the Lumia.
Towards the Lumi.
Look at these poor girls. As he approaches. They look like they've been to the 9 hells and back again. Is that any way to treat house guests? That is just not the Agwe way. He strides over to these 6 girls, leans down, and pulls out a silver flask out of his coat.
This is getting spicy. My armpits are getting spicy.
And gives each of these girls who look on the verge of consciousness, almost loopy, a drink for each of them.
I have the nervous urinations.
You poor things. Here, this will make you all feel better. Suddenly, as each one of the 6, 2 Genasi, whatever else I said.
Yeah.
All 6 of them take this drink from this silver flask that Alphonse. There you go, darlings. Suddenly, the loud, vibrating metal clanging echoes through this room as Regarda has slammed her scaled red fist on her metal table, smashing down. Enough stalling, LeBlanc! Did you bring what you promised? Alphonse stands up from the girls, who all accepted, who seem to rouse just very slightly after giving them a drink each and taking a swig. He turns to her. No need to be rude, Miss Charhide. Of course I did. He withdraws from his coat, once again, a crystal phial filled with a bright green liquid. That familiar wax seal, red and stamped with the serpent eating its own tail, keeps it contained. Your freedom, darling. Regarda stands up, her enormous form. Avantris, you remember how absolutely massive she is. She strides over to him, towering large, several feet above him, and she eyes the green phial as he holds it up, most tauntingly. This potion will protect me from his black magic. As advertised, young lady. I don't care who Mr. Gru thinks he is, whom he made a deal with, or what matter of dark arts he is practicing. No doll, voodoo or otherwise, will be able to harm you once you drink my LeBlanc elixir. Regarda's eyes widen slightly. She nods in understanding and reaches out for the phial. Alphonse snaps it back out of her reach. Not so fast, darling. Do you have your end of the bargain? Hold on, apologies. Regarda nods. Walks over to the pillar far at the end of the room, right next to her desk. She walks over to these large chains that are wrapped around the side. You hear a moan of pain as her hand disappears behind the back of the pillar and pulls. You see her grab a tiny humanoid shape, seemingly beaten and bloodied. A messy, matted mane of red hair splayed out. This is clearly Evangeline.
I immediately run over, cast, the moment I get to her, I cast dimension door 500 feet outside of this place, somewhere in a random street. It can only take me and a medium humanoid, so none of them can come with me.
Okay. Could you please make a stealth check for me?
21.
21. You sprint up and sprint towards Evangeline. You see that she is beaten and bloodied. Her green eyes are kind of fluttering as you sprint over her. She's looking up, and Regarda is pulling her around towards the front end of the pillar. And you sprint in, invisible, and you're going to grab her?
Yeah, I'm going to grab her hand, and then I'm immediately going to cast Dimension Door, so they'll see me for all of a second.
And you're going to grab her hand, and you're going to shift into reality for a second. All of a sudden, you see Alphonse. You see Regarda. Their eyes shift to a sense of realization as you kind of look back at both of them as, I don't know how Dimension Door works.
Describe it however you want.
Can you describe how it works?
I would imagine, so I like the idea of like a cool like fey gate, so it's like almost out of the ground shoots up like this beautiful like archway with like flowers and foliage and like this spinning like circle of like pink and purple magic, and they just shoot through it.
Okay, so as you run up almost in an instant, the three of you, Anulin, Rodic, and Vandris, you see nothing as Sylvie grabs her sister's hand. You notice, Sylvie, the sudden glance down as you grab her hand. She feels something grasp, and suddenly flowers, petals flying through. You remember Sylvie using some kind of magic as a gate opens up, and you remember kind of these summery leaves flying through. These, however, are wilted, dead. As what opens up seems to be almost the smell of swamp gas extend throughout the room. Gate opens, chains rattle to the ground. As Sylvie, you make a dexterity saving throw for me, please.
Natural 20.
Oh, fuck!
You immediately appear with Evangeline, almost tackling her into rags and barrels, and you kind of smell this stench as you appear in this alley. As you look around, you see Evangeline's eyes kind of fluttering as her blood-smeared face.
I'm going to say to her, keep your voice down, you idiot. And then I'm going to immediately channel into Lumi, and I'm going to use my action to use my rod, and I'm going to channel into Lumi and cast invisibility on the three of them in that corner.
Okay. So you
shit.
channel in the wayward soul, and you cast invisibility. Lumi, Evangeline. You smell, Sylvie, the smell of roasting goat.
Yeah, okay, it's
And
touched, so I can-
rotting, and not rotting, but dead, freshly slaughtered goat. As you realize you're in kind of this back alley, it's almost this kind of like dumpster back area of the drunken goat.
This is where you belong, you idiot. Get on my broom. And I'm going to start putting her on the broom. And I'm going to cast a first level Cure Wounds on her.
You cast...
She's not invisible though, right? Neither of you are.
No, neither one of us is.
Correct.
So we're going to have to get out of here like ASAP.
Oh fuck.
But they're outside,
Yeah.
in a back alley, you know.
Make a stealth check, please.
She gets 17 points of healing. I'm going to use my inspiration.
Okay?
I don't know what that is. Yes!
So fun.
Stealth, 22.
Holy fuck.
22. You cast invisibility yet again. Invisibility shrouds you.
No, it should only be them. It should only be the three of them.
Wait, you're casting them?
Yeah, because I can cast spells through Lumi if they're touch, and invisibility's touch.
If
and I
she's
didn't bring her
within 100 feet.
Huh?
If she's within 100 feet, would you be 100 feet away?
I have no idea. That would be.
I would
I don't
say
think
no.
so.
That probably not.
The tower's pretty tall, and you
Yeah.
probably went at it.
And
Pythagoras is a dick.
Damn, if you're watching.
Then yeah, no. I guess I'll just cast it on the two of us and hope that they listened to me and had their vials ready.
Yeah, I mean, I'm good.
We
I
still
took it.
have like.
I took mine.
I
we
cast
had,
a spell.
I would say we had. Oh shit!
I cast a spell.
I was gonna say, and when I took it, we had less than 10 minutes left
Yeah.
because we had
It
about
was literally
20
on the
minutes.
brink of dropping.
We had about 20 minutes. Mike said we waited 10 for Alphonse to show up. Then we followed them all the way up and went into the building. And I took mine as soon as I took my position.
But I told you guys to have them ready, so it's up to you whether you do.
Oh, then yeah, I guess I would. Probably as soon as she like ripped out of my hand, I would have downed it.
Okay.
Or however you want to do that.
So I will say, why don't both of you make an intelligence check?
To see if you're smart enough to remember to take the potion.
Do I have
With advantage.
There we go. 18.
Anyone? Intelligence at advantage.
Ooh, my rolls have been poopy all night.
I hope Alphonse doesn't kill you.
Intelligence.
Me too.
12.
I
That
would
was
say
at
both-
advantage?
At advantage as well.
I would say that's fine. Both of you have been holding Sylvie's hand. You realize that she rips out. And I think that probably is a compelling reason for you to down your LeBlanc branded invisibility potion. Are you going to do it? Anyway.
Yes, I will.
Yeah.
As soon as that happens, Sylvie zaps out of the room. Does that make you visible for a split second?
Yeah, I would imagine so. I
Can
imagine
you
they
read
would
the
at least
spell
see
just so we know exactly how it works?
how what works.
How
Dimension door?
Dimension Door, like how it would appear to Alphonse?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
You teleport yourself from your current location to any other spot within range. You arrive at exactly the spot desired. It can be a place you can see, one you can visualize, one you can describe by stating distance. It's up to 500 feet. You can bring along objects as long as their weight doesn't exceed what you can carry. You can also bring one willing creature of your size or smaller who's carrying gear up to its carrying capacity. The creature must be within 5 feet of you when you cast the spell. If you would arrive in a place already occupied by an object or creature, you and any creature traveling with you each take 4d6 force damage, and the spell fails to teleport you.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that she just drops invisibility and then vanishes again. That's it. I mean, just depending on how you want to describe how the spell appears, but...
So then, thematically, like, there's literally not even a door. It's just a teleport.
Yeah.
But unless
Or-
you want
or
to flavor it
flavor it,
however
yeah.
you want to
Yeah.
flavor it.
Yeah.
So, but regardless, all that would happen is that
For like a split
invisibility,
second,
right,
I would
she'd
appear
reappear and then
and
disappear.
go. Because invisibility drops if you cast a spell.
Right.
So it would be
So-
gamey to say, like, oh, because I teleported, he wouldn't see me. I don't think that would be the case.
Well, it's yeah.
Because it takes
the
an
cast time is
action.
instant, right?
Yes. Instantaneous.
So whatever
if
that
you-
would be.
I would say, and again, just whatever. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Keep going.
Okay.
And are there verbal components that might be like you would have had to say
Yeah,
them?
verbal. So I would have had to say something.
Okay. So, immediately you see this kind of swamp stench open as Sylvie runs up, grabs Evangeline, teleports out.
So that's a very distinct change to what we're used to.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Would I have even noticed?
Make an intelligence check.
Maybe. I mean, it's possible. Intelligence, 11.
No. You have no idea.
I just think the stink is coming from my disgusting sister.
When you're in the moment.
As the three of you all down your potions. You've all down your potions. And Alphonse swivels around to Regarda. What is the meaning of this, Regarda? Have you been lying in wait, waiting for me? And Regarda's eyes are wide, golden, gleaming dragon eyes as she looks around. No, I have no idea what happened. You have not agreed to your end of the bargain. I have no idea. You know why I was here. You know what I was looking for, and you've been harboring me. You've been trying to reveal what I'm up to there, darling? No, I swear I have not. I swear, I have not. No. Sorry? He turns to her and he stands and he looks up. Regarda, I have a feeling that there is a change in leadership coming to the caravan. Do you understand that your people are restless? They don't like that you are beholden, cowering to a single man just because of a little doll and his little needle and a hot patch that fills you so much with dread. Do you understand that? Her eyes narrow as she stares down at him. And she says, I know this is true, but they follow me because I am strong. I lead them and I take care of them. I have some knowledge that says you ain't 100% honest with me, darling. Ickis, you're number 2. Do you know what he's doing? Zolga, the captain of your guard, do you know what she's doing? Do you know how your people work against you in the shadows of the night and come to me, seeking salvation from the one that keeps you so afraid, that keeps you enchained, the way that I keep them. Points over to the girls. The way that I keep them chained. She looks down at him. She swallows loudly. You can almost hear it cutting through the silence of the room. All I asked was for you to provide the will-o-wisp. And she's somehow gotten away. You've let her in. I don't know what happened, but all I know is that you failed me, darling. And I think it's time for a change. Do you understand? Regarda steps back. Fear fills her eyes. Alphonse follows her every step, despite Regarda having at least 1.5 feet, 2 feet on him. And as he follows and he says, I think God Captain Zolga may just be the one that has the intention to lead the caravan where they want to be. Isn't that right? You see, the 3 of you, his eyes kind of glaze over. This kind of strange and milky substance come over his eyes as he looks at her. Immediately, her eyes kind of gloss over. She looks down at him and says, Yes, New leadership is what is required. That is right. She kind of crouches down and leans towards him. Her red scales kind of almost exposed in her armor. She starts to kind of undo the straps of her heavy metal armor. He looks at her and says, I thought I'd give you a chance. As I am proven wrong, unfortunately my altruism is always a bad idea. I think Zolga will be a far better leader than you ever were. You see his bright eyes shift instantly to a bright red. And he opens his mouth, bares his teeth. The canines on his teeth extend into fangs as Regarda, almost enchanted, leans in and he kind of strokes her long hair and bites. And you see the light leaving Regarda's eyes. The golden light going dark as Alphonse grabs her. This is always the plan, darling. Your incompetence just expedited it. Her lifeless eyes looking up towards the ceiling as he cradles, despite him being a fraction of the size of her, somehow holding this massive weight, heavily armored. Disgusted. Chucks her off to the side with a loud clattering. You see him turn towards the girls. They are looking at him wide-eyed, horrified. His fangs dripping with the blood of the dragonborn that he just killed. Now. Don't be scared, darling. I ain't gonna do that to you. I ain't gonna do that at all. Shh. It'll all be over so soon. He reaches into his coat. Rest easy and be well. Pulls out something from his coat. Let me find this. He pulls out of his coat a chalice, a cup, gleaming gold, inlaid with rubies, filled with the sloshing red liquid. It never spills a single drop, despite being whipped out suddenly. He raises it up. So soon. You're helping me, darlings. Thank you. You're helping me so much. Immediately the rubies glow, a bright, fiendish glow, and you hear shrieking, agony. 6 voices screaming out in pain as a ghastly energy is ripped from their eyes and mouths. Fiendish light erupts from each of the 6 as their bodies crumple to the ground. All 6 ghastly spirits disappear into the red liquid of the wine of the chalice. As soon as the last spirits disappear into the liquid, he looks Not long now. I suppose Miss Flickerwicket knows. And I suppose this changes things. He steps aside to the door. He leans down at the edge, wipes off the trunk. Solaris, you out there? You hear on the other side of the door. Come on in, darling. Door enters. Guard Captain Zolga walks in. Closes the door. You see a couple of strange dragonborn looking eyes kind of watching in of these caravan enforcers. As the door shuts behind her. You start to see the blue scales melt away, shrink, shrink, shrink in place as the body starts to its broad form, slender, curvy, bright pink skin, leathery bat wings, hairy black hooves. As Alphonse raises this chalice to her. Solaris, Mina, God Captain Zolga, we now have the caravan. Mr. Guru, his days are numbered. And raises his chalice. The fiendish creature, thick, armored, curvaceous, armored corset, bikini, whipping tail, hairy black hooves, very clearly the creature that you saw after after Taiki had been defeated. Does a slight chuckle. She runs 2 fingers along the side of Alphonse's face. Our work will soon be done. And there's nothing that they can do to stop us. With or without the blood of the child of the stars. Oh, I know that, darling. I know that. Now get back into character. You have to be a big, bad dragonborn. You have to whip all of these incompetent, savage immigrants into shape. You understand? Anything for you, master. Her shape shifts, shimmers. Where this curvaceous, fiendish figure once stood is now the heavily armored, heavily armed shape of a blue dragonborn guard captain Zolga. And she kind of puts her hand on the door handle and she gives him a kiss. And he says, not long now. And he immediately explodes into bats. A massive swarm of bats fills the room. Their flapping, leathery wings, flapping, shrieking, chittering. The entire room swarms with these flying rodents as they all swarm out of different windows. All 3 of them. Until quiet returns.
jump down as soon as the bats explode. I just try to lay low.
I would say none here. Given the power of the potion that you've all consumed. And it's you and Zolga. And she opens the door. I have killed Regarda. Tonight was the night. She was weak. And you start to hear the clattering of footsteps rushing up the tower. More and more and more and more and more. As soldiers start to filter into the room. They see a body. And before anyone gets there, you see the sword. You see her, you hear these footsteps. You see her look over Regarda's body. She waves her hand over the neck. It's as if she's never been bitten. And then, sword into her heart. Blood oozing out of Regarda's body.
Thank you for the
Thank you for the
Thank you.
cheers.
I have spoken through. The night we have been waiting for has arrived. Find Ikis. Tell him it is done. The weakness of Regarda is no more. The caravan is strong. The Jade Iris and the bushwhackers will no longer run rampant, protected by him. I am not scared by him. I am not afraid of a single frog. Cheers erupt to the building. Echoing through. You watch as this blue dragonborn, guard captain Zolga, allegedly Solaris.
Solaris or Celar?
Solaris.
Solaris.
Alphonse also called Mina. Leaves. Door closed behind you. The ruined bodies of the 6 girls. Regarda's body drained of blood and life. The 6 bodies almost looking in abject terror and agony the moment they died.
Do the bodies look like the body that we found in the upper half of the body, the house of the Kench?
Make an intelligence check at advantage. Yes, it does. Yes, no, it does.
Okay. I am going to I'm going to drop invisibility because I can't make any noise when the assuming we're alone in the room, right?
The 3 of you, as far as you can tell, are alone in the room.
I'm going to drop invisibility so that I can speak and walk over to the girls and kind of just thinking out loud say, you know, I almost stepped in. I didn't know what was going to happen and they were just gone. This is exactly like what we saw in the Kench.
You hear a I'm gonna immediately throw my hand over your mouth and then I just hold it there for a second, and I'll point at the door. And then I guess I can't point because you can't see me, but I'm just going to kind of reach into your, like wherever you would keep your rocky top.
Yeah, just in my cloak.
And I'll sort of motion to it, and then I'm going to grab your cloak, and then like flutter it a little bit, to sort of like. I grab your cloak and pull on it and flutter it.
I look outside and what time does it appear to be? Is it getting dark yet?
It's been dark for quite a while. Sylvie, to this point, you see Evangeline, matted, tangled, bloody hair. You remember her beautiful mane, splayed out on the ground as you're kind of laying on top of her. Dimension door on her, getting her out of safety. You see the red marks of chains, manacles, on her limbs, tied around her. Her eyes are fluttering. And she looks at you and she says, Sylvie?
Shut up. That's exactly what I was hoping for.
And she falls unconscious.
Yeah. And so I'm going to use the rope that I have in my pack and basically tie her to me. And I used invisibility. Thank you for the
Squid. Thank you.
We love you. And so is this while my invisibility? Because what didn't work on them, so I was doing it on the two of us. Or would you say I would do it after?
I would say they drank the potions, you popped it. That's fine. You're both invisible.
So I'm gonna get her onto the broom, tie us both to the broom, tie her to me, so that she's kind of like chest to chest, and I can have my arms around her while I fly, and I'm gonna fly us to the ship.
Which ship?
Our ship. The one that's been docked.
The Knight's Patience.
So that there's no one there to see the two of us arrive.
Okay.
Clever duck.
Okay. You do that. And to channel Derek, if you're still watching, you do that. And
Thanks, I hate it.
you're both invisible. You hop
That's
on your
Andy's
broom. You grab the broom, the slumping form of your sister. You fly off into the night sky, kind of reeling with what the fuck just happened.
Yeah, I'll kind of like lean down and I'll kiss the top of her disgusting head.
You taste blood. She has been viciously beaten to a pulp.
You're a disgusting, horrible person, and you have been my entire life. But fuck if I don't still love you, you dumbass. And when you wake up, you will answer to me for the first time in our entire lives. And God, I hope I don't regret this. And then I'm gonna realize for a second, and I'm gonna like tune into Lumi for a second. Make sure they're okay, Lumi. Keep an eye on them for me, please. And I'm just gonna continue to fly us back to the boat.
Lumi channels in you like, oh fuck, oh fuck, oh fuck, oh fuck, oh fuck, oh fuck. And it's like they're fine, but oh fuck, oh fuck, oh fuck.
Yeah,
and is kind of the idea. And
Lumi was there the whole time.
Yeah.
You fly back to the Knight's Patience.
And I'm gonna tell Lumi to kind of give me a play-by-play as I'm flying, so I kind of kept abreast of what's going on.
Play-by-play. Solaris, Guard Captain Zulga, has left the building. Regarda's slain corpse, as well as all 6 the girls.
Lumi, once they're alone in the room, find Rodak and tell him I'm on the ship.
Back in the room.
And I'll just kind of keep my hand on
getting
his
the
shoulder.
getting the flapping cloak. I just kind of turn towards the motion and say, I can fly from here, but I'd be leaving you two.
I'll just pat you on the back like lightly twice.
Pat me again twice if that means yes.
Twice.
And without a moment's notice, I grab both sides of my cloak. I run for the edge here, and I fly off into the night.
You turn your back?
No, I just grabbed the edges of my cloak and
So
fly
remember
away.
that the window is like 2 feet across.
Oh, I thought you said they were like open.
They're open, but they're very narrow.
Okay, well then
So
I
bats were able to escape.
then I had. Well, that was a different window, but I didn't realize they were all the
I
same.
thought it was the same way that you
They're
were.
all the same. I apologize.
Then I turn into a bat
Okay.
and I
You
fly away.
grab their cloak. You channel. And just like all of the dozens and dozens and dozens of bats that exploded and flew off, you fly off into the night above Agwe. The moon nearing its full state.
My goal, at least for the hour, is to fly around and surveil and head towards the inn. Make sure things at the inn look safe before using up basically the entire hour that I have before landing and getting back to our rooms and to Taiki's corpse.
Okay. So, you fly off as a bat, Annulin, Rodek. You are left in the room. Sylvie and Evangeline are off on the broom. Avantris is in a bat, heading towards the crossroads. Both of you
Wait,
are left. In the room.
You said he's invisible, or we wouldn't have seen him?
No, I had to drop invisibility to do all of that.
Okay, so we would have seen you leave.
And we heard him leave. So I want to... Would I be able to reasonably fit through the window?
Not a chance. I would say not a
Annulin
chance.
is way thinner than you are.
And she left her lard at home, so she ain't slipping through.
I will then basically take my sweet ass time and go up to the door and just listen for any movement at all.
Okay. Perception check, please.
18.
Okay. You listen at the door. You hear nothing. You hear the occasional footsteps echoing down the staircase that you came up. Nothing immediately outside.
I very carefully just open the door and just peek outside.
You peek outside. You turn, you see a fire illuminated hallway, stairway down. Stairway is down, you see the kind of occasional landing with a room off to, a door off to a room. You hear cheering, excited laughter, chatter, talking, celebrating,
Does it feel like sort of all the way downstairs?
all the way downstairs towards the bottom.
Okay, so I'm gonna leave it cracked, go just basically flail around until I find Annulin.
Okay.
So actually, before
Yes,
that, when
sure.
I saw the door crack open, I would have walked towards it with my hands out.
Okay, great.
I would say that you'd follow Rodek for sure.
So then I'll basically, just make sure that she's behind me. Then we go through, shut the door,
Okay.
and then just I'll sort of just give her a tug to be like, hey, let's go.
A mug tug?
And then just sort of,
What?
given that we can't make any sound, basically just take my time. Like if no one's around, just sprint down the stairs because there's no way of anybody being invisible or hearing us. But just any time, then I want to get downstairs. I guess once I get downstairs, I want to. Is the door closed
Okay.
as we go down the stairs?
As you go down, Annulin's following you. Both of you make a self check with advantage, please. And the fact that you both have the little Blanc invisibility potion will factor in the DC.
Well, that's a 1.
I got 29.
I got a 9. 12.
12? 19? Okay. You make your way down the stairs. You hear the loud celebration, cheers, more. You hear the occasional as the occasional kind of cries and death throes. As you hear cries of agony. Clatter of metal. You turn around a corner. You see a smear of blood along the side. White dragonborn. Stabbed through with a sword. Corpse falling to the ground. You make your way back down. Door is wide open.
Does it? Who killed the Dragonborn? The White Dragonborn?
Make an investigation check.
Can I use my eyes of minute seeing to do it?
Of course.
Sure.
It's within a foot.
There we go. 19.
Someone with a sword. A large sword stabbed this one through.
Okay. Got it.
Do we see any like footprints in the blood?
I would say you do, and they seem to be heavily booted.
You find a note
Heavy
saying, I
metal
killed
boots.
this guy.
As you realize there's a large broadsword that ran him through.
Similar to the size of the one that.
Probably good deduction.
Okay.
Guy murder.
Got it.
Okay.
You make your way down, cheering, clinking of glasses, the occasional death throw. As you hear the occasional death, murder. You make it down to the ground level. As Dragonborn swarm the Desert Rose. You start to notice a trend in their scale color. They all seem to be blue. You see the occasional white, green, red. Slain.
All of them.
All of them. All of the blue Dragonborn seem to have risen up under the charge of Solaris. Two figures stand in the center of all these figures. You just kind of make your way through the crowd invisible towards the door. The scarred-eyed form guard Captain Zolga, clasping almost intimately creature, black-feathered avian, kind of longer neck, red feathers, kind of these large bulbous eyes, vulture-headed. If a beak could grin, it's grinning very heavily as both of them are celebrating, raising a mug, raising a glass to the fall of Regarda Charhide and the new leadership of the caravan.
Seeing clearly what's going on, I'm just gonna basically make my way, trying to avoid touching anybody, just make my way out the door.
I will say you keep your stealth rolls and you slip out the door. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Sorry it was so intense.
Oh,
hey!
thank
Thank you,
you.
Freckles.
Thank you so much, Freckles. Have a great night. Thank you for hanging out.
Good night.
Also, how fun is it to say Frickles?
It's amazing. It's my favorite name.
It's the best.
Thank
The
you for the
best.
cheese.
Thank you for the cheese. We love you.
Mwah.
Mwah.
As you make your way out of the door into the night of the Sunsteel Lord. There's a celebration at the Desert Rose. You follow one of the blue Dragonborn guards out. The Aarakocra also seem to be celebrating.
Do I see any like other Dragonborn in the street that are
Occasional
not
guards,
blue?
yeah. No, as far as blue, you can see occasional passersby. All of the ones that seem to be heavily armored, heavily armed,
They're all blue.
all seem to be blue, yep.
All right. Well, I'll just basically once I'm kind of clear, just sprint back to the room,
Okay.
thinking that that's where we would want to meet, at least initially.
So
And just still being like invisible, I would just follow the sounds of his. Oh, he doesn't make sound.
No sound.
Schmurg.
I'll say you guys are
You might
clasping
probably
hands.
think the same thing, or yeah.
You're all clasping
Yeah.
hands. I'll say that's
Mind
fine.
meld.
Yeah.
Sylvie, you land, you see your ship. The seagull colors flying from the mast. You land down, there's only like 2 people on board. As you say, oh, yeah, is that Sylvie? Oh, my goodness.
We're invisible.
Oh, that's right. So you land on the ship, you're all invisible. They don't say that. As you land on the deck, the night's patients. What are you doing? You have Evangeline's kind of limp, unconscious body.
Just flying down to my room. I'm going to go in and take a short rest.
Okay.
Just with her.
You take an hour. Avantris, you're flying as a bat. What are you doing?
I was basically just using my time as a bat to surveil the inn, surveil the city on my way there, and make sure that it's safe to enter the inn before I fly into our room and transform.
I'll say you make your way down, you kind of sneak around as a bat. No one's really looking out for that. You sneak around to the room. You
Nothing
fly
unusual.
Out. Nothing unusual. You get right in front of your room. You unlock the door. You get in.
I want to make sure Taiki's remains are still there.
You see the shriveled, blackened remains of Taiki Heartseeker laying gently on the bed, undisturbed.
Okay, I'm going to wait, and I guess think about what what I'd like to do, but I think I would need help to do it, is ultimately cremate her, and put her remains in a vase, and see if we can ultimately send them back to Gullhaven.
Okay.
But I'm just gonna wait and think about what I would need to accomplish that.
You get back. You're sitting, waiting, realizing what you just saw. Sylvie, you haven't seen most of this. You wait. Evangeline is unconscious. You get a short rest in your room.
Yeah, I want to medicine check her and make sure she seems stable and she's
Make a medicine
not
check
going to die anytime soon. Natural 20!
You got like 20 of
I
those.
know. I've gotten a ton of them
God,
tonight.
that
on
those
fire.
dice are fucking hot.
20.
Thank
you for the host,
thank you.
Frickles.
Thank you, Frickles.
Thank you for hosting us, Frickles.
Thank you so much. So you inspect the unconscious form of your sister. She's been beaten, slashed, brutalized. There seems to be nothing wrong with her beyond that. Nothing kind of lingering beyond just the brutality that she experienced.
She just needs rest, kind of thing.
Yeah, she seems to have taken quite a beating and going down, as the Will-O-Wisp, as you assume. The two of you make it back to the inn. I'll say fine, while you're finishing a short rest. And you make it back to Avantris.
I literally wait until I'm in the room. Before we even do that, I want to literally check every single square inch of the inn that I can look. And just look around, see if there's anything weird, if there are any fucking bats anywhere,
Investigation check,
if there's
please.
any dragonborn. 19.
19, you look around, you spend your time while you're invisible, no one has any idea that you're there. You look around, you don't see a bat, you don't see anything out of the ordinary, honestly. As you've made your way, you look around, it seems like just standard business for the Crossroads. Standard hotel for a bunch of tourists in Agway.
I'm going to open the door. I guess where Anulin and I are together. I'll kind of pull Anulin in, make sure she's in the room, close the door, and then I'll drop in concentration or invisibility or whatever.
Okay. The two of you make it. Vanish, you hear the door unlocking. You expect it's Rhodak and Anulin. They tumble in. Drop invisibility. The three of you are there. Sylvie, as you're with your sister. Evangeline, she's unconscious still.
I'm going to cast Seeming on her.
Okay, what's that? How does that work?
It is... You can do it on multiple things, but it just makes her look like something else. The spell allows you to change the appearance of any number of creatures that you can see within range. You give each target you choose a new illusory appearance. An unwilling target can make a charisma saving throw, and if it succeeds, it's unaffected by the spell. The spell disguises physical appearance as well as clothing, armor, weapons, and equipment. You can make each creature seem 1 foot shorter or taller, or appear thin, fat, or in between. You can't change a target's body type. You must choose a form that has the same basic arrangement of limbs. Otherwise, the extended illusion is up to you. It lasts for the duration, which is 8 hours, unless I choose to use my action to dismiss it sooner. The changes brought by the spell fail to hold up to physical inspection. For example, if you use the spell to add a hat, objects pass through the hat. And
I will say you were able to do whatever you want to her because she's unconscious.
Okay, perfect.
And almost dead.
So I'm going to make her look like is she wearing her normal heels?
She is not. She seems to be wearing brutalized, kind of torn apart leathers for the most part.
I am going to make her look like a different one of my sisters.
Okay. Which one?
Not the only other one there is.
There's six,
there are 2.
There's 5 others.
Sisters? Oh, you're right. There are 5
There are
others.
5 others.
Because there are a lot of us.
Okra.
Yeah, Okra.
Okra.
I'll
It's
make her
gotta
look
be
like
Okra.
Okra. Yeah, I'll make her look like Okra.
She looks exactly like Okra. Describe Okra, please.
Yeah,
You get some
Okra.
bees, and you get some bees.
Okra has dirty brown hair, kind of stubby nose. She's a little porkier than the rest of us. Muddy brown eyes. There's a charm to her though. She's kind of mid-height between Sylvie and Evangeline. Plain, but with a sparkle to her eyes. And
So Evangeline is shorter than Sylvie?
No, Evangeline's taller.
Taller.
Okay.
Just slightly.
Yeah, just slightly.
Enough to rub in her face.
And so then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put her back on the broom, and I'm going to use invisibility again on both of us, and I'm going to fly to that shop where we have our membership, the teleportation circle.
Correct.
And I'm going to teleport us both back to our home in Goldhaven.
You don't have the
Okay.
compass though, do you?
Yes, she does.
I don't need the compass.
Oh, you do have the compass.
I don't need the
You
compass.
do.
No, I
You
don't,
don't?
because there's a teleportation circle that we bought access to.
No, you have the access to teleport to it. So in order to cast teleportation circle, you need the compass.
Oh.
But
So
I thought
you
they
can-
had their own teleportation.
They have their own
room.
teleportation circle where you can teleport to. So it's basically a Hearthstone. So like you can't connect your Hearthstone to it unless you pay access to it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I thought we paid access.
We
to
paid
it.
access to be able to teleport. We can use the pocket watch to now teleport to Ogway, but we still need the.
I thought I gave her the pocket
did.
watch anyway.
You did, but so you can use the pocket watch to
It just
teleport
costs.
to.
It just
Goldhaven.
costs money to cast teleportation.
How much does it cost?
I don't know. I forget what it's.
No, you guys already paid it.
Okay.
Oh,
well,
I
then
thought you had to
Then I'm
spend
still
mid-
going to do that.
Okay, cool. So you fly towards the Misty Morning, I believe it was. No, it wasn't the Misty Morning. It was whatever the shop is called, the magic shop, and you they're still open. You make your way in. She's looking like your sister, and you go back behind the Wonders of Shishi, and you go to the Shishi back room. And you pull out the pocket watch if you still have it.
And I have my little
And-
thing that shows that we paid for the.
Yep,
upper
you have your
tier.
medallions, and you channel, you turn the medallion, the pocket watch, to your teleportation circle, and suddenly both of you, kind of this strange scent of the Yulongese district, is no longer there, and you feel the quietness of the basement of your mansion.
And just for the sake of brevity, so it doesn't take forever to do this, I'm essentially just getting her set up in the room, communicating with Gus that this is my sister, and I'm going to tell Lumi to let the group know that I'm back in Goldhaven. I'm going to spend the evening with my sister, just pumping all of the spells I can into her, so that I can explain what's going on, and I'm essentially going to be asking her to stay there in our home and until we have further information, and that I will attempt to take up, we'll just talk things through overnight, and we can just decide how that would work.
Okay.
If she even comes to consciousness.
What's the rest of you doing?
I guess once they drop invisibility, the first thing I'm gonna ask is, has at that point we haven't heard from Sylvie.
Well, you told Lumi to tell us that you were going to the boat,
Yeah.
but then we don't know. So has Lumi told us that already?
She
Or no?
would have told you.
I would
before you guys
say
left.
that's true. Yeah.
Okay.
Have you heard from Sylvie?
Lumi whispered before she left that Sylvie was going to the boat. So Sylvie's there. I don't know what the hell is that. He's a vampire.
I should have stepped in. I don't know what he's doing with those poor girls' souls, but we just let him take their souls, and God knows how much stronger he is now.
He's been doing it every night, though, for who knows how long. Every night, he has new gods. The night of the masquerade, we saw, or Sylvie and Anilin saw, his first batch. Every single night he's been doing this. Whatever he's doing, he's getting close, it sounds like. We finally have confirmation. We know he's a vampire. I'm sure he was the one to give it to Taiki. But why? Why would he give... Unless he knew Taiki was connected to you.
I mean, it's pretty clear that he wants Sylvie. It's pretty clear. I mean, we heard him mention her name.
But why?
Yeah,
is Sylvie some kind of like chosen one? He mentioned the same
from the reading.
Daughter of the 7 stars. Correct me if that's right. Daughter of the 7 stars.
Child of the 7
stars. That's clearly like
she has some sort of purpose to his plan, whether it be her innate magical abilities or her connection to whatever it is that she's connected to.
Moradin's beard.
Listen, this is a bad time, but we also need to deal with Taiki's remains, and I think the most appropriate thing to do would be to have her cremated and taken back to Gullhaven.
We need to speak with her.
I already told you this.
I know you.
And none of us have the ability to do this other than Sylvie.
I know, and she'll be back.
We don't. Sylvie said she didn't even know if it would work on her.
We don't know, but I think at this point we have to try. We have to confirm. We have to find out if she knows something about Alphonse. She was about to tell us something as she was brutally burned alive, or dead, or whatever it was.
I don't know.
Besides that, you could say goodbye to her.
I don't think that that's her anymore. I've come to peace with it, and I don't believe that whatever's left over was or is Taiki. There's just no. I will not be having any mourning with some magic resurrected corpse of a being that was my friend. The best thing that we can do is to lay her to rest. I won't stop you from using the scroll only if Sylvie thinks that it will work, and I'm ultimately leaving that up to her. And if she says no, then that's it. It's a no, because she's the only one who can do it, and I'm not going to sit here and continue to watch the remains of my friend be desecrated like this.
I understand, lad. I do. Where do we even go? I mean, at this point, we need the mirror from Guru. We need it. I thought we could get away with not, but we need it.
I mean, so... I think that given the recent revelations, we have a lot to talk about, and you know that I've never been much about knowledge of this magical things, and I don't know what the connections to this reading are, but this Madame Zofstra seems to maybe have given us some information that may be helpful. Whether we take a closer look at what she's told us and our readings, there may be more information there. And I don't know, maybe this is a situation of enemy of my enemy is my friend, right?
Right.
This may also sound crazy, but I've mentioned this several times over the last several days or weeks. If we had any way to contact that thing that took Matthias, I bet you he'd like to pay a visit to Alphonse.
I agree. I mean, we saw it with our own eyes. He clearly has some kind of cup, and it's clearly his plan. It's the entirety, or it's the center of his plan. Whatever it is.
Whatever Guru and Alphonse are up to, this turf war, this power struggle, I don't even know what to call it. This is some strong magics at play here, and I don't know if Guru is less of an enemy or if this demon is potentially less of an enemy, but I think we need to find help somewhere, and maybe the mirror is a good first step, but again, I can't help but wonder if there's any way to contact that thing that took Matthias. I can't get that out. It's been in my brain ever since we've been given these abilities. I feel it gnawing at the back of my brain.
I'd like to find a way. Maybe Sylvie knows a way. I wish Ganji was here. I think he would. He always knew more about this than we did.
Agreed.
Here's the thing. We know that Guru doesn't seem like a nice man.
He's certainly up to something.
But what we've seen him do is threaten to kill Regarda with a doll, and we've seen him be some kind of servant, or be the vessel, or the avatar, or whatever it is, of some kind of spirit, some kind of whoever, whatever the hell Baron Samedi is.
Right.
And yes, I agree that it seemed cruel that these two people made a pact and were instantly stitched together into a horrible abomination. But if you think about it, those two people making a pact wanted their significant others murdered in return for this, for that pact.
Correct.
So they weren't good people anyway. So at least there's a little bit of grey morality. Granted, I don't know why Taiki thought she knew Guru, or why she immediately shot at Guru. Perhaps Guru somehow turned her and wanted to use her against Alphonse. I don't know. It's hard to say.
I'm willing to humble myself and talk to Guru and apologize for threatening him. I told him I was still willing to play ball. I wasn't severing our working relationship, but nonetheless, it seems like at the moment he's the best shot we've got.
I agree. And before tonight, I thought they both could be an ally. I think at this point, Alphonse is clearly the enemy. Whether they're both enemies, that's entirely possible. But Alphonse is certainly... He's doing terrible things.
And it sounds like it's imminent.
Right. We don't have much time. Well.
So if Sylvie's on the night's patience, then hopefully she'll return in the morning. Maybe Lumi will give us more information. As long as she's safe, then maybe we wait the night. See what comes in the morning, and then we try to find Guru.
I don't like the idea of Sylvie being alone with Evangeline out in the middle of nowhere. I mean, I think we should just go to the night's patients, make sure she's okay.
We can.
Any?
I just thought maybe. Well, sure. I suppose I don't think Taiki's remains will go anywhere. I know that we were going to make sure that there was no chance of her coming back and continuing to wreak havoc. It's probably not going to happen, but if we all would feel better together on the boat, then fine.
Lumi, are you here? I say to the open air.
Yeah, she's there.
No, I figured.
You see her pop out of invisibility and just kind of look at you. She puts her hands...
Can you stay here and just keep an eye out? Can you tell us where Sylvie is? What the hell are we doing?
Yeah, she's in Gullhaven. She told me to tell you, but it was really interesting listening to you.
And she goes back invisible.
So she must have teleported back home. She must have used the pocket watch.
Are you able to communicate? Wait, so can you guys communicate as long as you're on the same plane?
Telepathically, yeah.
Can you?
And then I can speak through her if I want to.
Where does the 100 feet come into play?
That's
The touch
for
thing?
touch spells.
And
Yeah.
for seeing through her eyes.
No, that's on
Oh,
any
really?
plane of existence.
Oh,
Or
shit.
as long as we're on the same plane of existence. That's because I took the Eldritch Invocation.
That's a special thing.
Yeah.
For sure.
It is called Voice of the Chainmaster. You can communicate telepathically with your familiar, perceive through their senses, and speak through it in your own voice as long as you're on the same plane of existence.
Oh,
Damn!
Pretty good.
damn, that's good.
Fuck.
Better than old Beatrice.
Well, Sylvia, are we talking to you?
She pops back into existence and does the thing again.
No, my name is Lumi.
And she goes back invisible.
Are you trolling me? Because
No.
using that's what
That's just the voice that I do. So deal with it.
Okay, so you're not doing
No.
Sylvie's voice intentionally.
No, I'm not.
Oh, so she's
You're
this is
just
the first
dealing with
time
Lumi.
she's spoken with us.
Yeah, because I ordered her to. Which is why she's doing the thing. She's not happy about it.
All right. Well, I get the feeling, I get the idea that Lumi would not act in any nonchalant way if Sylvie was in any real danger, and if she's in Gullhaven, in the home, she's probably fine.
Lumi, could you ask Sylvie if she needs us to be in Gullhaven with her?
She pops back into existence, and you see her roll her eyes and start tapping her foot. And then her eyes go back in her head, and I'm assuming she would tell me.
She would.
So then you'll hear me through her voice.
God, Rodek, why are you always up in everybody's business all the time? What do you want?
Do you have any idea what happened back there?
Yeah, Lumi gave me a play-by-play. Duh.
Well, things are very dangerous here. Are you okay? Where's Evangeline?
No, I'm
Are
not
you in our
okay.
home?
Yeah, I'm in Chateau Sylvie, obviously.
Do you want us to come back with you? Or are you fine alone?
I don't know how you'll get back. Because I have the pocket watch.
You could come get us and then we could all go back.
Well, I'm afraid of leaving Evangeline here. I'm afraid of leaving her anywhere. And so I was like, oh, well, I'll leave her on the boat and then I'll go back to the hotel. And I'm like, oh, well, no, if I do that, someone's going to go into the boat and they're going to kill everybody that we know. And then they're going to take her. And so I was like, okay, well, where could I go that they can't go? And I'm like, well, the only person more obnoxious than me that could keep away all bad guys ever is Gus. So I had to get home. So I did. And I told her to tell you. She should have told you pretty much the moment that I left. If she didn't, then pixies, you know what I mean?
It's okay. I'm just glad to hear that you're all right. And not to change the subject, but you didn't happen to see Orpheus or Seamus at all, did you? Are they still hanging around the house?
I didn't even look. I came right in. Gus did this thing where he talked about random stuff I didn't care about. And then I went straight to my room, and he's sitting here with me, so you can hear him in the background. He's still talking about things I don't care about.
Hey, the history of po' boys is very interesting.
Do you see what I mean?
Okay,
You know it stands for a
Gus,
poor boy.
that's fine, thank
Hey,
you.
you know there's fried seafood, but it could be any kind of po' boy.
So I understand your main concern right now is your sister, and I understand that. But if you get a minute, just check on Orpheus and make sure Seamus is okay for me.
Okay, I'll do that. I was just planning on staying the night. What I'm gonna try to do, I think she's okay. I think that I just have to heal her up a little bit. She went through some rough stuff, and if it's okay with you guys, and even if it's not, I'm gonna offer her a room in our home and allow her to stay here for a while, and then
Of course, that's fine.
We'll find a good time for her to come back.
Yeah, I think putting her into hiding, considering what we know, is very wise. And if Seamus and Orpheus are okay, and there doesn't seem to be any change, we might want to ask Seamus to relinquish the walkie-talkie. I think we could use the fourth one back.
Yeah, I mean, because Lumi can always come ask him questions.
Or if you wanted to, if you have time, you could even... No, never mind, you can't do that.
What?
We got rid of the teleportation circle in on that
Oh
island.
yeah, no, I'm not going back out to the island. There's nobody that is nearly as irritating as Gus, but Ratley comes pretty close.
I guess we'll figure out a way to get that Rocky Talkie back somehow. But
I think we should put Annulin on it. We should make her swim.
I think that's fine. She's apparently the best swimmer out of all of us.
Yeah.
She told me.
That's what I've heard from
Anyway,
her.
I hate to take the rock from Seamus, but if he can handle himself, and if Orpheus hasn't really been any kind of trouble, maybe it'll be all right.
Okay, I'll ask him. Yeah, I don't think he'll tell me no, so I'll probably have it when I come back.
That's fine. No rush.
So that's my plan, and that's what I'm going to try to do. So if you guys need anything, just tell Lumi. She won't be happy about it, but she'll do it.
That's fine. Take all the time you need and just keep us updated.
Yep, and if you need anything, I'm right here, watching you through the night. Through the eyes of a pixie.
That's comforting.
Shut up, Gus. Then you hear it go out.
Hey, you know, this is about lizard folk. You ever wondered if they're cold-blooded? I mean, they're cold-blooded killers. I mean, I ain't racist, but I never met a lizard folk I like. I ain't bigot, but I'm just saying, lizard folk. Anyway, never mind. I mean, hey, Orpheus, you want to be... No, please make it stop!
Oh, sorry, I left Lumi on.
Alright, well, it sounds like they're safe.
Do we want us to stay here on the night's patience?
What, are we in the room?
You're in the room.
Oh, I thought we were going to the boat.
You had talked. No, you were with
We
Luminary.
talked about
Got
it.
it.
When was so I don't think we can stay here. I think it would be very unwise. Alphonse knows where we're staying.
True.
He probably knows what our boat looks like.
True.
But I'm concerned.
I mean, if we stay on the boat, at least we have some protection.
Right,
I
we have
mean,
a crew.
We have a crew.
Then we
The
can
highly
talk to-
trained, some of the Eagles
Right.
are with us. Good crew. They're not going to be slouches,
Well, how about this? Why don't we? It's late. Let's go back to the boat. Let's get some sleep. In the morning, hopefully Sylvie can come back. Selvie can come back. And we can figure out what do we do with this information. Because do we tell Amalia? Do we... This changes everything.
Well, I do trust Captain Theramore. I do. I think that she's a rational human being, and she knows that we don't have any reason to lie. There's no reason for her not to believe us. And she could at least mobilize the Sea Eagles.
That's right.
I mean, they're not gonna raid his mansion back in Gullhaven. They're not gonna. They'll. But she needs to at least be aware.
Hey, we need to feel it out at least. We've built quite a bit of clout in Gullhaven, but I'm not sure it'd be enough to get all of the other Silver Serpents to turn against Alphonse.
No, I mean, someone like Reeve it would never turn against someone who potentially saved his life. Loudna is somewhere in Alphonse's back pocket. Campana, I'm sure she has nothing but lovely things to say about the man.
Well, let's get some
I'm
sleep.
sorry, I left Lumi on again. But speaking of that, I'm gonna make Reeve my second wife, so maybe that will help. Okay, bye now.
I mean, I met some polygamists. Well, if they're a bunch of weirdos that did a lot of weird shit in the basement. I mean,
That's what you hear. You hear Orpheus say, "Stop! Please stop."
All right. Well, we need to bring Taiki's body with us as well.
I'm on it, and I'll scoop her up.
Okay.
After we gather our things, put what we can in the bag of
Okay.
holding, and
I want to take just about everything.
yeah.
Okay.
Still keep the key so we have access, but I want to make sure that everything is either on us or in the bag of holding. Sylvie, or not Sylvie, Lumi. No, never mind. You need to come with us, all right?
She's invisible, but you get the feeling that you heard a crump from the corner.
Is that like an affirmative harumph? Or like, no, I'm staying here for tonight, harumph?
You see her flicker into existence, and she turns around and she moons you, and then it goes back invisible.
Well, all right, well, let's go.
Okay. As soon as you
feel
open
her
the
sit on
door,
your
who's in the
shoulder
front?
as
You're
you
opening the
go.
door.
Yeah, I'm opening the door.
You see, as soon as you open the door, you see a fist headed like directly above you.
It hits him in the face.
Rust-colored, kind of short nails, kind of reaching directly over you as if to knock, and kind of almost stumbling directly in front of you. You see blinking slate gray, almost glowing eyes looking down at you, with kind of short brown hair tied back into a ponytail. These kind of short horns, rust-colored skin. You see Emiria Devil Dance, kind of getting ready to knock on your door, and says, "That was one fucking hell of a trip." And that's where we'll end the session.
Mike!
She can't punch me while I'm holding the corpse of our former
No,
friend.
she definitely can and
No,
will.
she wouldn't do it.
No, you're
No, she
holding
won't.
a corpse!
She won't. She would never. She would never be so disrespectful to Taiki.
Guys.
This is 100% Avantris dies.
No
This
way.
is not
It would be
Avantris
too
dies.
disrespectful to Taiki.
I hope that you're prepared to roll a new character at the start of next session.
Roll
Holy
the
shit, Mike, great job. Phenomenal job, Mike.
Holy shit,
I told
man.
you he was a fucking Dracula like 7 months ago. Told you. God.
I knew it was him
I
coming to the
think we
meeting.
called that, like,
I knew it was
immediately
going to
from
be
the
him
get-go.
walking through
I
that front
know.
door.
I still don't know. I don't even remember what tripped me off, but I was like, that is a fucking Dracula.
Yeah, good job, guys. That's, wow. It's confirmed after all of these
Finally.
years.
After all these years.
After all
Yeah,
these
no. So the very first time stream, if you go back to like episode 4, 5, 6, Sylvie's like, he's a Dracula, he's a vampire, 100%. And I'm like, well,
It had to have been something you said that made you think that. Because
don't
then we
know.
started asking
Well, 'cause it
questions
was-
about, like, do we ever see him during the day? Do we ever do
I'm
the...
pretty sure the first time, well, no, because I did it in one of those, like, well, I don't normally say things that
Right.
make any sense, but this, and this, and I think he's a Dracula. And you guys are like, what the fuck's a Dracula? So I don't know. I don't remember. But yeah. We did it, guys. Thank you for hanging out with us, friends.
yes, thank you guys. I know it was a little tense. I appreciate that. Great job, players. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of combat stuff. I'm just gonna throw all these tokens away. Yeah, it's all thrown
Did we
away.
avoid combat for the first time ever?
Are those roughly 16 dragon
It's a
horn
lot
guards?
more than that. It's fine.
Well, you never know,
You
Mike.
never know.
You
That's
never
why
know
you
to
prepare.
prepare.
So great session. Thank you, everyone. Welcome. Don't leave. I apologize, Derek. Thank you. We'll talk more about what happened previous. And with that, I guess our next session is Feywild the next Tuesday.
Yeah.
Then Prime is the following Thursday. And
On
then
our 3-year anniversary.
on our 3-year anniversary, which is followed by Beneath Dark Wings that Friday, because I hate myself. But yeah, appreciate it, guys. Thank you for tuning in. We're rating somebody. Who are we
We're
rating?
gonna
today?
read,
Hey, we
welcome-
got producer Ray. Hey, I finally got to do a canonical Gus Langtree impression. Hey, you ever wonder why they call him a po' boy? It's from a poor boy, and it could be anyway. What are we doing? What are we reading?
You're reading Welcome Party RPG.
Welcome Party RPG. Hey, give him flash some hooters if you're there.
Have a great night, and
We
we
love
will
you
see
guys.
We'll see you next week.
See you next week.
We'll see you
Thanks,
next week.
guys.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Hey, everybody. Give you love to the welcome party.
Cubs win!
Hey, Cubs win! Hey, Cubs win!
Ice
Ice cold Budweiser. Everybody loves it. King of beer.